Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments today about Oklahoma's St. Isidore of Seville Catholic Virtual School seeking taxpayer funding as a public charter school, which opponents argue threatens the separation of church and state. If the Supreme Court rules in favor of the school, it could allow other religious schools to apply for public funding. Starbucks has opened a new type of store in South Texas. The company opened its
WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bringing it to you right here. Middle of the week, hump day, bad cheering Wednesday. Thank y'all for sticking with us as we do this thing and get started today as we roll into this first hour emanating from the historic campus of Xavier University from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. www.wbok1230.com is the address. If you want to stop on by, you're welcome to do so. Grab yourself a comfortable chair, a mug, or a tumbler of your favorite frosty or steamy adult beverage. Mind your manners. Say good morning. Holler at your people and kick it with us for the next 3 hours as we continue to examine this world through a 504 focus scope. And of course, the number one top-ranking way we love to hear from each and every one of y'all is the WBOK 12:30 a.m. Talk Line. 504-582-9422 is the number, so you are certainly welcome to holler at your people on this bad cheering Wednesday. Let us know what's going on with you. Ready for the weekend. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yes.
It's finals time, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. I know this is, I don't know about it, showed up.
No, that's real. But you got to keep it going. Got to keep your life going. So, and I love being here. So,
and we love having you here. We certainly do. Absolutely. Hey, Miss Kimber, how you doing?
I'm awake.
That's a good way to be, especially if you're driving. Especially if you're driving.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
I'm not on kill us or kill me either.
That's a good thing if you're not.
How y'all doing this morning?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Good morning, Front Porch people. Thank y'all for being with us first thing this morning. We certainly appreciate you. Mary Kim Shanks, good morning. All the way.
Hi, Mommy. Good morning.
Always a pleasure to have you here with us, madam, and all the rest of our good Front Porch listeners to be here on this and watchers. Keep forgetting that we are really, in the new age. We're not just radio anymore. We everywhere.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I didn't get a chance to go see Leo last night, man. I'm so bummed out about that.
Say again?
I didn't get a chance to go see Leo, no Centelli.
Oh.
Yeah. Just some things. It didn't work out. But I certainly wanted to.
I feel like we had the up close and personal portion of the question and answer section.
Yes.
So I don't know that the information that we got yesterday would have and then the direct access, because we didn't have to wait in line for questions.
No.
In your whole room,
Plato.
if you're in a whole lecture hall or a space where there are multiple people who have questions and are who want to know information, so you have to wait your turn. But like we had a direct line. No waiting. No waiting at all.
And because the only thing I really wanted to I wanted to hear him play in the Dewdrop.
Yeah.
I've heard him play, and thank God I've been blessed to do that. But not in the Dewdrop. But things happen. Life be life in some time, and you got to do what you got to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great show yesterday. So many people. So when I walked in this morning, Will said first thing, it's a great show yesterday, man. Great interview. And I talked to several people yesterday, man, who caught that, and and it's not surprising. Because I started off by saying he's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. That's for me.
That
and
makes
for this. That's. Listen, man. Show me who you got that did this.
But also that was documentation of storytelling of history on a Black platform that people can come back and revisit. That makes a huge difference for us in access.
Yes.
Because you can thumb through and scroll and search and whatnot, but like this is a direct line. It's easier when you don't have to dig through the stacks to get the information, and definitely
off the brick.
I don't know that our listening audience who is familiar with the meters would have gotten the answer to the origins of Look a Pie Pie.
Oh,
there would have been nowhere else.
I don't think you could have.
Yeah.
Because I am a fan and didn't know the origin.
Right. So that
I'm
was
a fan,
definitely
huge fan.
that was definitely power for us on yesterday to have the conversations, and then the off-air conversations are also
Even just
yeah.
better. It's so dope. It's so dope. Cam said rewatch the Notes and Telly interview on YouTube last night with
Awesome.
DJ Reg. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And if y'all didn't see it and you want to see it, please go do that. I got to remember that stuff. See, that's what I got you young people here for. Remind me of that.
If you saw it once, it's somewhere else.
It's always somewhere else. Now, I don't know, Kennedy, if you know Leo Notes and Telly, and I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. But he is a native New Orleanian. We had him on the show yesterday. I don't know if you heard of the Meat. You heard of the Neville Brothers. You heard of the Meat. I don't know, but it's the style of New Orleans music that was started back, and Leo's one of the architects.
Okay.
Leo's one of the architects. Not a word I use lightly. Like genius.
Yes.
Right. Those are ones that I save for people.
No,
who I
it's
think,
special. It's special.
Yeah, some of them words just get thrown out. Oh, you just see that? Oh, yeah, the kid took 3 steps. He's a genius. No, he's not. No, he's not.
That's real.
You're really generous with your compliments, ain't you?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's but yeah, so that's what we were talking about. And music, we always doing music.
Of course.
And it's festival season.
Yes.
All that good stuff is happening. And I think he enjoyed it, which was the beautiful part. He was very happy about the interview and the way that it went. So, and he said, man, this is really like being on the front porch.
Yes. Because they thought they were coming to an actual front porch.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they felt as if, they did say they felt as if they had been sitting on a front porch.
On the front porch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our job is done.
That's the culture.
Yes.
That's the culture that we provide. We're consistent about it. So you got to love that.
There you go.
Yes.
Our job here is done. Y'all take it easy.
Oh my goodness. How are you, Kennedy? How are you as this young woman who is finishing your junior year?
Please.
After being in leadership and navigating some hills and some valleys and some mountains, really.
Yes.
You definitely have had some things that you faced. How are you?
I am in a state of recovery. I don't really, because a lot of people are asking that, but I don't really know how I feel right now because I'm in finals, but the last day of classes was Monday, so now everybody's like, oh, Kennedy the senior. And I'm like, oh, Kennedy the senior. How did I get here? So yeah, I'm in a time of reflection, a time of recovery, and really thinking next steps because I really feel like this all came fast. It really did. And people always say college goes by fast, but like it really felt like I just ran through these 4 years. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm ready to hit the ground running, but I'm also like, I'm running, but I'm crawling, but I'm running, but I'm crawling. It's like I'm counting down the days to be done, but I'm also like, no, like I need to hold on to this, right? Like I need to, savor every moment and enjoy every moment, be in the moment. So yeah, I'm recovering. I'm reflecting. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good that you can verbalize how you are feeling and saying that I'm not sure how I'm feeling. That's a real thing. So, yeah, we're going to keep doing some temperature checks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Still going to be doing some checks. It's Wednesday, too. So, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, you, me, and Shay got a date.
And next Wednesday, I'll be leaving.
Are you leaving next Wednesday? Well, we'll have to figure something out over the weekend.
Yes.
Because, no, you got to finish these finals. I'm not dragging you. We're not dragging the streets today. No, ma'am. We got things to do. But,
When's your last one?
My last final, I have an in-person test on Friday, and then the rest are just essays to turn in. So I think on Tuesday or Monday. Monday's my last one. So, yeah.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. Bad Chair Wednesday. Stick and stay. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support in style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. In Baton Rouge, fluoride may be gone from our state's water soon. State Bill 2 is heading to a final Senate vote. Fluoride is added in small amounts to drinking water to help prevent tooth decay. But State Senator McMath sees the mineral as medicine and believes that method does not take into account people's individual health outcomes and needs. And a bill restricting processed foods in schools passed the Senate and now heads to the House. State Senator Blake Miguez wrote the bill, which he says is a direct descendant of the Make America Healthy movement. The bill follows the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s push to ban food dyes by 2026. This morning, concerns are easing as the Bonnie Gary Spillway is no longer under a threat of opening. The Army Corps of Engineers says an updated forecast shows the Mississippi River will no longer reach a trigger point to open it. Now, you may remember the opening of the spillway was tested last week in case it needed to be opened. As of this morning, the river was at 16.1 feet in New Orleans, and right now is expected to stay below the 17-foot minor flood stage. And the city of New Orleans and Councilman Freddie King is hosting a job fair today. The councilman is teaming up with the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. The fair will offer quality paying jobs and with long-term benefits as well, something critical for people looking for employment. The job fair is happening today from 10 a.m. to noon on the 1200 block of Bienville Street. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
How we help each other shows what kind of world we want to live in, and the smallest actions together speak the loudest. So, what kind of world do you want to live in? Give NOLA Day is May 6th. Early giving starts April 29th. Visit givenola.org.
The National World War II Museum, located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans. The National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Braylon Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass. Y'all, thank you for sticking with us on this Bad Churn Wednesday as we get to do what we get to do and check in with the youth and find out what's going on in the world from their standpoint to keep y'all hip See all the stuff we do for you. We got to talk to Leo. We go to festivals. We go out and talk all for y'all.
Right.
You're welcome.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
And we don't mind not one bit. Where you at, Mark? I see you. Good morning. It's a pleasure to have y'all with us. And it's good to know that things are going well with you, young lady.
Yes.
And it's good to know that you like us so much that you would come during finals.
It's a brain break, you know?
I listen.
It's therapeutic to talk. Even if it's
go
not
to
about
come sit on the porch, huh?
Listen, like you just said, it's a porch.
Come on now.
I'm coming to let out some steam.
Yes.
Kick my feet back.
Love that.
With
That's
a
what we-
non-alcoholic beverage of my choice.
Well, it's still early. You know, we don't judge here on the porch.
No, not at all.
We
Not
give
at all.
you a choice. You know, warm or hot, adult or not.
Yeah.
Put that on the
Absolutely.
shirt. What?
I love
That
it.
is hilarious. So now that the semesters come to a close, what are your plans for summer?
Ooh.
Is it rest any scheduled on the summer
Yes.
plans?
At first, okay, I will say at first because I've had internships every summer since I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really in a I just want to chill, you know, work, you know, get a bag instead of an internship. But sadly, but not sadly, I'm hoping to get an internship with a company that my aunt works with to do PR work with the different locations that they work with. I forgot exactly what she does, but they're looking for someone in PR. So thinking about doing that and really incorporating rest and really planning, but also doing the things that I love. And I feel like because I was doing internships, of course, you know, when you work, you push some of the things that you love to do to the side, but I love to incorporate what I love into what I want to do. So back to writing scripts and doing short films and more poetry. And I'm coming up 1 year for my poetry book in June. So trying to do a celebration for that to celebrate my 1 year anniversary of dropping my first poetry book. So a lot of things, but rest. I really need rest.
Well, see, what had happened was, you can start there.
Yeah, you know, school, you push the things that you love to the side and the things that you do. And I'm not one to always talk about the things that I do. So, yeah, that's why you've never heard about my book.
So the next time you come, you bring the books to why
You know,
we did a book club. You know, we love books on this front porch. Yes, ma'am. We had a book club.
I didn't know
actually
that.
Did a book club right here on the front
Wow.
porch. So, yes, ma'am. We are
Okay.
lovers of literature and most respectful of writers and readers.
Yes.
For sure.
So, yes, ma'am.
It's okay. I'll send a little package to the prompt.
Would you please?
Of
'Cause
course.
we would love to shout you out. No
Yes.
question. No
Of course.
question. What's the name of your book of poetry?
My book is called 1620. It's a poetry book, and it's in chronological order from when I was 16 to when I turned 20 years old. So it features my life in high school, mental health, my first relationship, my first breakup, instances of sexual assault. It goes into a lot of things. So really reading that book, you learn everything about me because I poured my everything into that book.
1620.
1620 on Amazon. Go check it out in the book section.
Kennedy Shank.
Yes.
Author.
Author, published author. So
yeah, we need to have that
of course
with us here, man.
Yes.
You got love out there, man. You on this front porch. People would love to support you. Is the book available for the folks who are listening away? How can they pick it up?
Yes, on Amazon. I can drop the link in the chat, but it's on Amazon, 1620 Kennedy Shanks. Make sure you go to the book section. Nice little $20. So it's
don't go to
affordable.
the TV section looking for it.
Yeah, look, listen.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yes,
kid.
because
Listen.
if you don't go to books, you're not going to find it. So make sure
That
you hit
is
that book tab
hilarious.
on Amazon and go check me out.
I say I used to love books. You still
You
do.
still
Quit
do.
stunting.
You still do.
If
So
you
much
wanna
so
get
you
that-
keep
It's too
asking
late.
for it. You keep
Black,
asking for
hook.
it.
You hook, and I know we hook you.
Mhm.
We are responsible, and I offer you no word of apology.
Right.
None. Zero. So yeah, keep on not being used to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yes, ma'am. So put that link in the chat, please.
Yes.
So folks can support you and make sure that they show you the love that you so richly deserve. So get it
Yes.
out there, honey. All right. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Don. How you doing?
I'm doing. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing
So
well.
far, so
Good morning.
good, bro.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, good luck with the book. Just don't try to get it in no school district, I guess. Texas as well. Ban books and all this stuff.
That's all the more reason to write our own.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. No doubt. There's no doubt about it. And I'm thinking we're looking, when we look at the books, maybe we're looking too commercially as far as profit and loss. You know what I'm talking about? Barnes and Nobles and stuff like entities like that. They're for the shareholders, right? They're publicly traded companies, Barnes and Noble, isn't it?
They are.
Amazon and all those places.
Yeah. But any author that would write a book of poetry, I don't think is doing it trying to get rich.
No.
Because it's not poetry. I get what you're saying. I think you're absolutely right.
No, well, she's writing. People write books to do good.
Yeah,
right?
people write books
to
for
get a positive message out there or experience.
Yes.
Even if it's the benevolent society is what I'm getting at. We have Dr. King talked about the beloved community. I'm restudying and sharpening my mind on the benevolent society, the benevolent community.
Yes.
I hear people talk about what sororities and fraternities, that's this and that. But that's one aspect of the benevolent society, the service organizations. But I was reading, hear about all of this stuff about removing vaccines and the doctrine that this administration of the federal government is trying to push on us. But many of those things were started by the benevolent societies, right? Life insurance. I hear the issue about insurance. We can't get the insurance is, they give these insurance companies and their shareholders carte blanche access. They can raise the rates as high as they can. But in the benevolent society, which basically originated insurance, life insurance, health insurance, hospital benefits, all these benefits that we think the government initiated was started and really solidified by benevolent societies. Okay, that's why you had a charity hospital system. That's why hospitals and institutions of higher learnings are basically nonprofits. They're not catering to shareholders. Okay, and so my question to you, Kimber and Braylon and your guest host, I didn't get her name. Is it Nicole?
Kennedy.
Okay. Do we have the benevolent society, the secret orders, the fraternal orders, the mutual aid society? Those are still in existence, but they have not kept up with the mantra that they originated, i.e., insurances and other benefits. They've abdicated that to the federal government. Should we be focusing on the benevolent society, strengthening those areas? Because these guys are determined to run the federal government into the ditch and give the resources to a certain class that's all about, the opposite of benevolent is what? Malevolent? What the word is? Malevolent. Yeah, to do evil, to do harm. So this government is malevolent, whereas the history is based on benevolence.
Thank you for that, Don. That's a great
All
question.
right.
Appreciate your call, man. But I think the thing that the crux to that was benevolent societies were born from a need.
Right.
We could not have insurance. You could not do the things that regular society was done. Those doors were closed to us. And when certain Black Wall Street, the black insurance companies that did this started from benevolent societies for folks to have a burial, or just like you say, musicians, all of these folks who looked out and knew that their money grouped together would give them some power and the ability to do some things for them. But that's what the genesis was. It was not because We were already entrepreneurial because I keep saying that in bringing the slaves, business was already being done.
Correct.
People understood that.
Mhm.
So when the enslaved Africans that got here got an opportunity to experience some semblance of freedom and started to call their money up together, and they knew the power of that. Of course, that evoked the jealousy of the malevolent class, as Don just put it. And now you can have insurance, but we want your money.
Mm-hmm.
The other side, you don't need to have that insurance company looking out for you, because at one time you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's the whole
And
thing about this
even when
erasure of history that they like to tout. See, you want to talk about the demonization of HBCUs and that they're not necessary without regarding the history that made them necessary when you made laws and rules that we couldn't come to yours.
And even when you did, and even now, bring us into the ability to have the insurance, you found a way again to deny the benefits in some sort of case, or deny the
take the money,
the validity of the policies.
That's right.
Or
That's right.
when it came to burials, being charged premium prices. You were in that movie where they were charging people from our community exorbitant amounts, which
Absolutely.
of course provided a need for us to have people in our own community to provide those services. And then they also had the culture of understanding of how and why we also do certain things when we send our people off. So because you won't do it, we will find a way to get it done.
We found a way, and then you got mad, and then you took it, and you didn't get treated as bad when you did it, because you know that while the idea of the insurance industry is one thing, you knew that if you ripped us off, the other side, which was the court system, was still skewed toward you. Mm-hmm. You could do it and get away with it. You could do it because you knew that the whole thing, oh yeah, we're going to change this system so we can get this money, but we're not going to change the system where y'all get any justice.
Right.
That's part of the whole entirety. So yeah, that's benevolent societies, I think, are still good. I think just like cooperatives, it's what we are going to see as a people is probably going to become more necessary than maybe you ever thought.
Even more so, yeah.
Even more so
now than ever. That's definitely showing itself.
That's right.
As many people had gotten comfortable with being in spaces that they thought that some sort of equality or the continued movement toward equity would be happening. And you see that's not the case. That is not what is happening. The opposite is actually happening. So I hope that as people are seeing these changes happen, that you are preparing to network with people who look like you versus seeing those people as competition, and also being prepared to, in the reconnection, willing to have the conversations that kept us estranged from each other in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you really don't have time. It's about building right now. It really is. It's about building. If you don't see it, if something's being torn down over there, what you need to do over here? Build something.
Mm-hmm.
If they tearing down, then somebody need to be building up. Keep the balance. Keep the yin and the yang, and that's what I'm talking about. You can see they're trying to tear it down. But let me just
that's always been the case.
Little balm for your soul. They can't. They won't. They never will. Just so you will see the attempts. You will see it through legislation. You will see it through the attempt to rewrite history, to have somebody say who is in charge of all the museums in this country to say that we want to try not to show the harsher parts of American history. We don't want to, so the American history is still harsh.
Today
is 2025. So
the actions today of the people who are trying to hide the past actions. It's still
what are
hard.
you saying? What and this is the lady who's been appointed to from this cabinet, who has no museum history, no museum experience, no history experience, but she's over this, and her mantra and her dictate is to try and soften and make sure that museums uplift the good things about America. And I'm like, how big is that museum? Like the size of a phone booth? You know what I'm saying? What you do better during the entire history. And that's what I say about Germany. Germany had a very ugly time in their past where they were living kind of like this, 1931. And it's not that long ago. This is not ancient history. When Adolf Hitler came up from nowhere and changed an entire country and subsequently changed the entire world, all based on a fallacy called white supremacy. At that time, he called it Aryan supremacy. Caucasus, Caucasians being by virtue of their skin, by virtue of their lack of melanin and their DNA to be the master race. And it did not happen. It did not happen. Now, in Germany, you can talk about the history, but you can't talk about and display the side of the losing people.
Right.
That's what this, see, and this country is different in that you say you got free speech. You can fly the flag of the losing side in the war between the states in the Civil War. But you can't talk about the United States' position when it comes to Israel and Palestine. So free speech-ish. You can say what you like, because as long as the people in charge say you can fly a Confederate flag, but you will get put out of the country if you display a Palestinian flag, then what really do you have left? And that's the fight. That's the fight that's going on right now. People trying to figure out, is what you've been taught what you still have? Is what you've been told America is? Because you got to remember, we've been shown the rest of the world as what not to do.
Right. Yeah.
All of these regimes that we played a part in building up, in the Shah of Iran and Saddam Hussein when he was our friend, when he was dining with the Bushes and all this guy, when they were our friends, and all of the things that we have done, we have shown the world that those people are monsters. Look at what they do. They disappear their people. Pinochet in Chile and all the different places. You topple democratically elected governments, which is what the dictate of the CIA was from its inception.
Correct.
To topple this government. It's just history. It's just history. You don't got to get mad about it, because if you know, it's. I'm just telling you what happened. There are books about it. There are records from the government that have finally been released.
Unearthed.
And they talk about that. Salvador Allende, Patrice, Patrice,
what
Lumumba.
Okay.
Lumumba. Patrice
okay.
Lumumba. Yes, Patrice Lumumba. The leaders, democratically elected leaders of other countries were overthrown because they said that these guys did not make friends with us being the U.S. But we sell democracy all over the world.
But do we really?
We do. Oh, no, we do.
But do we really
we
sell the democracy?
Oh, no.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
We sell democracy.
We sell
now,
something.
Now, we don't offer fairness.
Yeah.
we sell democracy.
Yeah.
We sell, that's what we do. But see, now you have seen the chickens come home to roost. Thank you, Malcolm. Come through. That's what you are looking at right now. All the things that you kept pointing your finger at and forgetting those three fingers was pointing back at you.
They're bad. They're bad. They're bad. They're bad.
Now you're seeing it.
You're pointing it out. And if
how do you do that to their own citizens?
You can identify what it is that you see and see the worst in it, you're also identifying the fact that lives in you. But they never want to own their own stuff. That's always the issue. You never want to take ownership.
That's why you're trying to change the history.
Exactly.
That's why you're trying to change history. We're going to talk more, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay. Y'all don't go nowhere. It's Bad Cheering Wednesday with the author, Kennedy Shanks, sitting on the front porch. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Front Porch.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies with highs back in the mid to upper 80s. We could see a spotty shower or two this afternoon, but most of us stay dry. Lows tonight in the 60s and 70s. Slightly better chance for a shower Thursday, but still isolated. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Better chance for rain and storms Friday afternoon through Saturday. Highs in the low 80s this weekend. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at beyondthestagellc.com/campart and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass. Y'all bad cheering Wednesday. 504-582-9422. Hey, Josh, what's happening?
Good morning, old people and young people.
Good morning. Resemble that remark.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Kennedy. Boy, you should have been here back when we was doing Book Club Fridays. Oh, what a swinging time it was.
I missed
Boy, we were reading books and discussing these books. We had homework. The only two people that tried to carry that banner was me and Mark.
You weren't the only two, but y'all were the most consistent about the books for sure.
Yes, we're the only two were.
Yes, you were the most
The
consistent.
two class clowns with the class valedictorians. That's sad. And so, but I watched that interview with President Dummy yesterday, as he showed how he's even whitening up the White House and the Oval Office with all these past paintings of the racists that he looked up to. Mm-hmm. And they always pull Ronald Reagan out their butt. Only thing Ronald Reagan did for this country was give it crack cocaine and AIDS. That's all he did. Nothing else.
And hide his gay
And to
son.
heal you from that, he gave you government cheese and powdered milk. I don't know why he keep being considered a great president.
Because he was the most outwardly racist without saying the words that you had heard from your other racist presidents before. Welfare queens was one of his terms that he used, and another one was that he demonized people who had AIDS and HIV. Meanwhile, his son was gay, and that affected the community that he was a part of. The Just Say No campaign, you remember? Nancy Reagan. And she was an alcoholic, wasn't she? She had some addictions as well. She had some sort of addiction issues as well. So
also,
it was sleight of
also
hand.
like she was that girl for like.
Well,
you need to cover your ears, Kennedy. But she was called that throat goat. Don't forget about that one, Nancy.
Allegedly. But
no,
yeah,
allegedly.
I wasn't there, but I heard the people say it pretty frequently that she could suck sort of blue a lawnmower.
Now you see,
That's a new one.
I don't mind that. Listen. I mind your policies. I mind what you do.
Right.
How you got there to do it, baby? Look. God give us certain talents. God bless
we
you.
all know that throat goat and crack cocaine go hand in hand.
Well,
that's why she was saying just say no.
I don't
she was
know.
just saying yes.
I don't know, but I heard you call here. You threw that rocker about the book club. You tried to throw that rock, but it's all right.
We was Kennedy back then.
It's all right.
Man.
I heard you. A rollicking good time or something like that you said. Well, you know where else I'm going to have a rollicking good time, Josh? Jazz Fest.
Listen, Kennedy, we read about this dude.
You didn't hear that, huh, Josh?
No, you didn't hear me.
No, I didn't hear what you said again.
I said that you mentioned that when we had the book club, we had a rollicking good time or something along those lines, yes?
First of all, sir, I don't know what rollicking means. So I'm
Doesn't
not going
matter.
Context.
You get the context. A funky good time.
There you go.
A really good time having the book club.
We did, Kennedy.
Yes.
Man, we read about this dude.
And what I said was, we're about to have another funky good time, since you called here throwing bricks, at Jazz Fest this weekend.
Yeah. I ain't able to go to that, so I try not. It's a trauma.
That's why he said it.
That's exactly why I said it.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you for that, Josh. Much love, man. Much love, dude. We'll talk soon, okay?
No. I gotta go call my therapist. Thanks.
Call your therapist, man. Later.
That's cold.
I know.
That's cold. But he started it, but he does it.
We started the book club.
Yes.
How dare you say we've lost our love of books?
No.
How dare you?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about the book club. The reason why we fell back is because y'all fell off with the reading. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck. Josh and Mark, they kept up with us, and we would let you know where you needed to get the book from and all of the different things. But yeah, when y'all fell off, it was like, well,
Quote,
we're doing all of this.
Used to love books.
You still love books.
Quote, I'm saying the porch used to love books as a whole. I don't have no problem with that statement except for that one little word.
Used to.
How dare you? You know better than that, Joshua. You know better than that. We are currently deeply head over heels in love with books, and always have been. But just because we don't put it out there on Front Street don't mean we don't love them. Come on, cuz. Don't do that.
Gotta be smarter than that.
Come on now.
And
I got love for you.
Who he is. That's the thing. Like, oh my God, you know who he is.
That's right.
You knew he was going to throw a boulder after your pebble toss.
As much as I love books, you can't hit me with books and don't expect me to do nothing. Y'all know my love of books. Y'all know you kind of hit me where it hurt, cuz.
Yeah.
I ain't too strong to admit that. I can tell you. You hit me there. That's like hitting with them children. It's coming back home.
Yeah, that was one that you should have expected.
It's coming back because we still love books and we always will. Absolutely. And you know what? We are more than honored to count you now
Mm-hmm.
in our numbers, Josh.
Yes.
As a book
bibliophile.
lover. That's
You're
right.
a bibliophile.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Mark, not so much. Mark was the thing, but you know,
Mark was reading
Mark
before.
was reading before. Mark talked about all the books he found by his mom and the whole nine, and rereading and other books like that. But the introduction and the whole eye open, that's the synapses I always talk about, those that can't be turned off once they turned on. That is more of a Josh camp. But we love it.
Because at first he said, I don't want to read.
He said, I don't read.
I don't read.
And
if it's
one
beyond
book,
so many pages, I'm not going to read that. And,
From Man to Superman.
And then you reading stacks.
That's right.
Reading stacks.
That's right.
Brick books.
Then you read
we did
Robert Beck.
Iceberg Slim. Have you read that?
Oh, we got to get you some black.
Are you familiar with what is the name of this movie that I think is terrible?
The Mac?
Yes. Have you seen The Mac before?
No, she doesn't see The Mac.
Girl.
The Mac, yeah.
Where's
The
that
Mac
at?
is a
Put that on your
brilliant
list for the
piece of
summer.
Filmmaking. A brilliant piece of filmmaking.
It's the word that I want to use. I'll say it off air.
And it is a brilliant piece of filmmaking.
It is definitely a part of Black exploitation.
Oh, I couldn't watch this, but I'm grown
No,
now.
you're grown now.
I'm grown now. Yes. Yes, I'm grown now.
I think Mrs. Shanks has probably seen The Mac.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Yes.
it. But yeah, man. But that whole idea, man, it's a brilliant piece of film.
It's something.
Brilliant piece of filmmaking.
It is
Now we got to
something.
talk about because we were talking
about the books. We were talking about the books. Yeah.
Talking about the books.
And we were talking about the list of books that we had run.
We did a bunch of them. Things Fall Apart, Chinua Achebe, another classic.
Yes, that's on my list.
That's on your list.
Yes.
Things Fall Apart, another fantastic read. And that's what we did because that was the opportunity. And in retrospect, that's what we do, man. We plant seeds. And we heard back from Josh. We heard back from Mark. But I don't doubt that there were many others who had the same experience with books that they did. We just didn't hear from them because we got so many people out there who listen, tune in, and love it. But we don't hear from them. But as long as you get it.
Yeah.
John the Appleseed ain't saw every apple tree that grew.
Correct.
He just saw a few. But that's all he needed to see because he kept planting seeds.
So Mark said the thing I miss about the book club is hearing the perspective of different people. Like we've talked about bringing it back, but y'all gotta be on it because sitting and listening to the conversation, which was quite a few people sitting and listening, where some people were actively participating in the conversations. Everybody's got to participate.
Got to participate. It's a book club.
Yeah.
You got to read the book and just offer what thumbs up,
like your
thumbs down,
grown-up
say
book club. Some people just show up for the wine and the cheese. No,
Yeah.
you have to participate in the discussion.
Yeah.
And
you
no
know.
fluff. This is not a blue book conversation where you can fluff your
don't
way
read
to it.
The cliff
back,
notes and
the
come
back of the
back
book
and
and
thank you
tell
for
us.
talking about
Yeah.
it. Come on now. It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. It's Bad Chair Wednesday. We're going to take this quick break, and we're going to see you on the other side of it.
Yes.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Former North Carolina NAACP leader Reverend William Barber was arrested at the U.S. Capitol for praying against potential cuts to social programs. He and 2 other ministers were charged with misdemeanor crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced a $331 million investment for a universal after-school program, expanding free activities to 20,000 more students over 3 years, aiming for 184,000 K-8 children served by fall 2027. It doesn't seem there will be another extension to the May 7th Real ID deadline. The Trump administration says all states will need to comply by then. And severe weather in Pittsburgh caused power outages to over 400,000 homes and businesses with 70-mile-per-hour winds and tornado warnings. 2 deaths are reported, including a man electrocuted by live wires. Get BIN News on demand and on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to celebrating the hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools. Join us at the 4th Annual NOLA Teacher Fest, sponsored by the All-State Sugar Bowl New Orleans Teacher Community. The NOLA Teacher Fest is happening Friday, May 2nd at Champion Square from 4 to 7 p.m. The fest is open to teachers, paraprofessionals, deans, coaches, counselors, and other school support staff. Visit our website to learn more and RSVP, www.newschoolsforneworleans.org.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Back, y'all. Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
Brother Naira's on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bad cheering Wednesday. Thank you for sticking with us as we roll into this second hour of today's broadcast of the Front Porch, continuing from the idyllic campus of Xavier University, from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. www.wbok1230.com is the address if you want to stop on by, or just hit us up on the talk line, 504-582-9422. Good morning, Pop Jones. Thank you for holding, man.
Yeah, I was about to take my second nap, Grill.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing, Kim?
Good morning. How you doing, Pop Jones?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Yeah. That's what I have to say about y'all. Fire. Fire. I see.
Singing them Ohio
I said they're on fire again. Talking about this land, this country called America.
Yes, sir.
Home of the brave, land of the free.
That's what they say. Free-ish.
Yes, indeed. Really, can they do without us?
There is no America without us. They can. You can. They see, that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe you are us.
Mm-hmm.
You are us. There is no you without us, Pop. There's no separating.
Oh
that.
Man.
Zero. And as a New Orleans
yes,
Indian,
indeed.
all y'all illegal aliens, us.
Hello.
We've been here.
New Orleans is older than America.
Don't ever forget
I hear some people that say that people came here in 1800, all that kind of stuff. And my people was here.
My people told them, hey.
And they say they got on with that boat in New York. They say they came into New York.
Came into the Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm. Ellis Island. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's when they didn't mind immigrants.
You know, what my people was here before Ellis Island existed.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, indeed, man.
That's why I
tell you.
Fear not, baby. They can't erase that, Pop. They can't erase us without erasing
themselves. Well, that's what they're trying to do, really.
I know they're trying, but it's an impossible task.
They don't want you to know none of your history.
They trying.
Nothing.
But they tried the same thing with African history. They tried the same thing trying to tell people people originated in Europe. That all has been proven
And debunked.
to be
Uh-huh.
not true, to be untrue. The origin of mankind is an African origin. And I know that hurts some people to hear it in their ear right now, so I'm going to say it again in the other ear. The origin of mankind is an African origin. Period. End the story. Argue with your mom.
But they just haven't just started lying to us. They've been lying to us for a long time.
And the unfortunate
They've
is
been
that
lying to
people
themselves,
been
Pop. They've been lying
digesting
to
it.
them. Yes, but see, the thing about it, the lie was never for us.
Mm-hmm.
The lie was on us for
okay.
them. That's what you get. The
Uh-huh.
lie was never
To
for
make
us.
them believe.
To make their children believe that they
Believe.
were. To make
Okay, all
themselves
right.
believe when they all the while knew that they weren't. They were pretenders to the throne. They were frauds, just like the one that you got right now.
Oh, my God.
Their whole history has been one of fraud. It has
So-
been talked about.
Really. So some of the children are learning better they've been lied to. Am I listening to you?
That's why
Correctly.
you saw during Black Lives Movement so many white kids out there. That's why you saw the pushback from
buddy.
the powers that be, because if we walk, every one of us as black people out there, they ain't gonna pay no attention. But when you saw Black Lives Matter, when that little domestic terrorist got away with killing them people up there in Wisconsin, and there were no black people that were killed, and there were no black people that did the killing, but they were there for black people. It was a BLM march, and that's why they were like, no way in the world. That's why they quashed it like it did, because they would not let that movement get a hold with young white people. They wanted to show what would happen if you got killed. If you align with them and something happens to you, that's it. You shouldn't have been over there with them. That's what the message was to me.
Hallelujah. Tell the story.
Hey, we can only see what it is. We can only see what they show us, Pop.
That's why I listen to WBOK.
Yes, sir, Bo.
Thank you.
Yes,
we appreciate
indeed.
you. We appreciate you, Pop John.
Thanks for taking my call. Y'all have a blessed day.
And listen, enjoy your second nap, yeah?
Oh, well, no, Grayla, I'm finished.
You finished? You
I'm
done
finished
for the day?
for the night or whatever.
All right,
Thank you,
Pop
Grayla.
John.
Thank you, Grayla Ryan Banks.
Yes, sir, boss. You take care. We'll talk soon.
All right, Pop.
All right,
Bye-bye.
okay.
504-582-9422. Hey, KC, what's happening?
Casey?
Oh, KC,
KC?
holler back at us.
Call us
cuz.
back.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
That's why I cannot and will not allow mine to walk around with your head down. You've been lied to.
That's
The origin of this whole thing is in you. Your DNA goes back to the beginning, to the first Homo sapien to stand up, look around, and say, "Where the am I?" Was a black man. No, you don't like that.
Well, and because they don't like it, just like anything else, what you don't like and what you fear, you try to destroy, which is what we're seeing with the African American Museum.
That's
you
right,
see the dismantling of history, and they say it's because they don't want to tell the harshness, but what about as the world is digesting the current harshness that you are doing right now? You are.
They're righteous. See, they're not harsh. They
Well,
don't see what they're doing.
I don't understand how you can separate the actions
You're in the code.
from the definitions of the words and what they are. And the unfortunate thing, because we are going to keep talking to our own people, the cognitive dissonance that you can say and see goodness in the bad actions is weird to me. I don't understand when people do that. Well, he's
yeah. No, it's not him. It's you.
He's gonna give us money. Just give it time.
That's
Give
you.
what time.
That's you.
Give what time? In
That's
the
not
time
him.
in the first 100 days.
Yeah.
They had a I can't remember the lawmaker. It may have been a governor or something, and she was talking about the first 100 days of the failures, because they can't really they are struggling to find the good things that he's done
There
in
is
this
none.
first 100 days. Even Fox News
There
is
is
having a problem
You cannot
finding
hide the truth.
the good things that he has done in the first 100 days. And
But
death,
the cult members love him.
terror, fear mongering, destruction, and the girls are fighting. Him and Amazon are having an issue. Him and Elon are having an issue. Him and Ramaswamy, they fell out early on in the game. You have a black man who's sitting at the in HUD, the head of HUD, dismantling fair practices of renting, and the people that look like me who make actions like them or speak in ways like them, they have me baffled. Every time I hear and see them speaking against communities where they may not have been from directly, but you're an extension of that. But you want to align yourselves with them.
Absolutely.
To what
Power.
But
Power.
what you don't, your power is limited because
It don't
they humble
matter.
you every time.
It don't. But I got more power than you. And if my
Do
whole
you,
thing-
though?
Yes. Because if you ask me what my definition of power, yes, the answer is yes. And that's the whole thing. I don't care about y'all. All this stuff is to try to get individuals from Trump. That's why you got a cabinet like you do. Nobody is a group player. Everybody's for themselves. Because the dude at the top is for himself. So you tell him, yeah, boss, but all y'all hustling for yourself. Just like my man at HUD. I'm going to dismantle it. Why? Because you're going to get some money from somewhere when they start selling the property. When they start, it's all money. You are in those positions of power because you want to get rich, not because you want to help people. There's no altruism. There's no benevolence. You are there because you are trying to utilize the power that you have in that position to line your pockets, to get some money. And you know that it's okay because the guy at the top
is able to get away with
doing
so
the
many.
same thing.
Exactly.
He's not going to be looking at you because he's looking at himself. Now, that's why you surround yourself, when you're a guy like this guy, this is why you surround yourself with this type of people. But it's on display for the world to see. The world sees this. And the
that's
piece
the
of
thing.
kryptonite that this guy's got is his ego.
That's-
It's not his soul. It's not his morality. There's nothing there.
That's the thing, though. You're doing things right now where it's not just being documented by us. It's being documented by the entire planet.
Exactly.
So what you think you are getting rid of, the world will remember.
Absolutely.
The world will remember. And
Mr.
it's not one.
Scalise.
It's not just one library that you can
Mr.
burn. Like
Johnson.
we lost libraries when libraries caught on fire.
Yep.
But at this particular point, there are several libraries, and it's not paper and pencil in all cases. It's digital, and you might be able to disregard and get rid of it here. But where else is it saved? Like, you can't get rid of that.
That's right.
You cannot
Digital
get rid of that.
footprint.
And I just.
And it's not, see, the thing about that is, this is not the first time I have said this before. Your enemy is not wise. They don't have to be, because what they keep doing keeps working. This is not the first time y'all sacked libraries. Alexandria, the library, the libraries in Africa that was sacked. All that ancient knowledge that proved that everything came from people who were melanated. The University of Sankore, the University of Timbuktu. All of these massive places of greater learning. And you took some of the information and put it in places that are behind lock and key. Probably the Vatican vault.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. That's what they are.
Maybe.
That's what they are. I wish I could speak Amharic. I go up there and read it to you, tell you exactly what's happening. But the knowledge that came from there, again, You took. You didn't invent it. You took it. And this is not the first time that you have tried to erase what you have done by sacking libraries, by attempting to change history. And every time you've done it, I've seen it, I watch you do it, and it's never worked. It's never worked. It hasn't worked. It hasn't. You keep trying to come back, even Elon, with the old outdated debunked theories about skull size and phrenology and African people and European people, and all of that's been debunked. All of that inferiority and superiority crap that was forwarded by the eugenics people and the white supremacy people and the Hitlers and the rest of the people in the world never worked.
But you keep bringing it back around.
Because you still always got a group of people who have that beef, who are angry that their lives ain't what they thought it would be. So they're automatically, and they see these type of people know that. They know that there's always that undercurrent of anger. That group of people who feel like I didn't get mine and I should have.
Exactly.
And whose fault is it? Anybody except the people who are telling you how to get it. Because it's actually their fault. Or the people who are trying to get in the position of the people who put it in. They don't change anything. Hitler started changing. You think the people who was behind Hitler did not make millions of dollars? Did not you realize that our rocket program right here in the United States came from the fact that when Nazi Germany fell, their technology, when it came to rockets, they weren't going to kill them Nazis. They weren't going to kill them Germans. They used them. They brought them into America. They put them in colleges.
Yeah.
They taught science. We took advantage of that technology. Did you have any compunction to try and change their world outlook from the white? No way in the world. So the idea that this has not been done before is not an idea you ought to have. Just study history. Just see. All of this has been tried, and it has failed miserably. And this is only the next iteration of that. You heard me say before, it's a great time to be alive. I know people say, oh man, how you say that? Because for y'all, trying to tell you, I've seen it. But when for y'all have you seen the falling of an empire? The dismantling.
We've only read about it.
Yeah, but
and I can tell you, I've seen it a couple of times.
The situation though is okay. If we're gonna break it all the way.
We're not gonna break it.
That's what I'm saying. If we're gonna break it all the way.
They are.
Yeah.
But be fast about it, because right now you're playing with people's lives. Like
And
you
that's how it
are
happens.
playing with people's lives.
That's how it happens. Because see, the break comes from inside. It's never an external enemy. It's never an external enemy. It comes from the inside because the center doesn't hold. Y'all fall apart because y'all start fighting each other. It's infighting, and all y'all go through all this whole thing. And then the next thing you know, when you talk about hurting people's lives, you got so many innocent people. Marie Antoinette let them eat cake, and they chop your head off.
Yeah.
During the French Revolution, because the people got tired of your stuff. The people, not me. I'm just here as a voice in the dark. Not me, because what you're seeing now is the result. What you just mentioned, the lives, real lives that are being adversely affected almost and sometimes up to the point of cessation of life as a result of these policies. That's where the revolution is going to come from. It ain't going to come from the top. It ain't going to come from no BLM. It's going to come from red states and people who are disappointed.
But it's hard to change the
catch
system.
up, musters, because y'all are moving way too slow.
I agree.
Y'all
It took
are
them 300
moving
years
way
to get here.
too
It
slow.
ain't gonna fall that fast,
Because
but it is
those
falling.
of y'all who were rocking those red hats and feeling the ill effects at this point, y'all still fighting the fact, well, it's going to get better. When
It is.
Grocery prices still high.
It's gonna get
Gas
better.
kind of plateaued.
What?
The import costs of people who provide services and or livestock and or other things that are used in markets is hurting them. And at some point, people gonna stop buying. So that's gonna tank them, and people we're not gonna not eat. People have been farming for a long time, And you said that small businesses are the backbone of the United States. We know black farmers. We've had quite a few here. Show Fresh is one of the black farmers that we know who provides fresh produce that we can go to them and stop having to go to the major markets. But like, if we're gonna break it, go ahead and break it now. Hurry up. Y'all taking too long.
It's
Move
the front
expeditiously.
porch, y'all. Dude told me that. I said, if you spell it, I'll do it. It's the front porch. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Stick and stay. Y'all will see you on the other side of the break.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. In Baton Rouge, fluoride may be gone from our state's water soon. State Bill 2 is heading to a final Senate vote. Fluoride is added in small amounts to drinking water to help prevent tooth decay. But State Senator McMath sees the mineral as medicine and believes that method does not take into account people's individual health outcomes and needs. And a bill restricting processed foods in schools passed the Senate and now heads to the House. State Senator Blake Miguez wrote the bill, which he says is a direct descendant of the Make America Healthy movement. The bill follows the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s push to ban food dyes by 2026. This morning, concerns are easing as the Bonnie Gary Spillway is no longer under a threat of opening. The Army Corps of Engineers says an updated forecast shows the Mississippi River will no longer reach a trigger point to open it. Now, you may remember the opening of the spillway was tested last week in case it needed to be opened. As of this morning, the river was at 16.1 feet in New Orleans, and right now is expected to stay below the 17-foot minor flood stage. And the city of New Orleans and Councilman Freddie King is hosting a job fair today. The councilman is teaming up with the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. The fair will offer quality paying jobs and with long-term benefits as well, something critical for people looking for employment. The job fair is happening today from 10 a.m. to noon on the 1200 block of Bienville Street. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
This is Jackie Jones with Class Act Entertainment. Join us on May 11th at the Honor Thy Mother Theater Brunch in partnership with WBOK at the Jean Lafitte Auditorium. Experience the red carpet with live interviews and photo ops, along with a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Highlighting the afternoon is the original stage play, Mama. The finale, live concert with Piano Man G. Get your tickets at 504-491-1179.
Sunday mornings are reserved for a good word on WBOK. This Sunday, be sure to catch Dr. Kevin Stevens Sr., the pastor of Christian Unity Church, for service and a powerful, full, inspiring word. Listen live every Sunday morning right here on WBOK.
making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Braylon Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass. Y'all Bad Cheering Wednesday, bringing it to you right here on the Front Porch, doing it like we doing. Y'all say these dumb racists gonna follow the great dummies right off the cliff like the racists did in the 1929 Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers always say history can repeat itself.
It can, but the teachers know that it doesn't have to. But then we give you ways for you not to have to repeat or to go into situations that we see based on trends
and history.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This is looking a little bit like blah, blah, blah. It's not clairvoyance for some. For some it is. But with that, we're telling you not to do this because this is going to end that way. And then you do it anyway. And then you're like, well, help me. Help you do what?
Mm-hmm.
Help you do what?
I don't know what you need help with. Be specific. What you need help with. Because when I was offering the help, it didn't look like you wanted it. It didn't look like you wanted when we could have helped before the problem started. Preventative maintenance, preventative maintenance. But it's all right, because sometimes a bone will grow stronger after it breaks. Sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes you just got to break it to find out. And that's where I think we are right now. Y'all breaking it, but it's all right. I'm telling you, we're going to have to learn. That was quote yesterday. If we do not learn to live as brothers, we shall all perish as fools. That was Dr. King. Called it. Somebody said called it.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. But we looked it up, and I don't think I ever mentioned it. But yes, it was confirmed. That was Dr. King who gave that quote. Okay. Still apropos today. Very much so.
It was clairvoyance on Kamala Harris's end. It was based on history and trends. If you, this is where this math thing always comes into play. When we tell you certain things should be happening, this is based on a collection of information over time. Like when you go to the doctor and the doctor says that you or your child has met certain milestones or have made certain checkpoints on growth, on weight, and all of those different things. That's based on an average, right? And that's on averages over time. They watch through periods of time where birth rates have been low. They look at periods of time where birth rates have been high. Then they start looking as to why. And in this particular case, we looked at what he did the last time based on the economy, based on ignoring people who practice medicine and giving us updates on how we can protect ourselves. This fool said stop testing during COVID because the numbers keep going up. Dummy, if the numbers are going up, they're not going up because we're testing. Exactly. It's because the occurrences are happening. It's happening.
You're scaring people. Stop testing. And I'm just saying, that's the perspective. Not saying it's right, but you got to remember who you're talking to. No, I don't want no testing, because what is the testing going to do? The testing going to reveal what? That more people got it.
That more people have
and
it.
if more people got it, more people ain't going to like me.
But they don't like you.
No, ma'am. I got to think that they like me. And if they don't like me,
they
because
don't
you keep
like
telling
you
them
anyway.
about
And
these
for
tests.
the ones who still support this
keep
man,
telling them about this test.
and the ones who are still supporting this man, black, white, Latin American, Asian American, whatever the case is, if you're not insulated enough that none of this is impacting you, if you're an entrepreneur that provides a service that requires goods from another place outside the country, it is impacting you, and you still holding on to it like it's a good thing, you are a dummy. I cannot say that it's just cognitive dissonance.
Cult behavior.
Willful, I can't even say it's not even willful ignorance. It's willful practice stupidity.
You're in a cult.
You are not proving your point, but your hate for people who are not white, who don't practice the religion that you feel that they should practice. And I'm talking to some of you black people as well, who don't love the way that you think they should love. I'm talking to some of you black folks as well, because that's not an ideology that came from black people. Christianity is not the only religion. Being a male doesn't necessarily mean you are the top of your anything. There are women who are smarter. There are women who can analyze better. We have to start looking at people as humans. The difference between the gender in and of itself is how you produce life, because life comes from both parties, but it takes you both to do it. One isn't more important than the other, but the restrictions have constantly been on women and anything that does not appear to be strong. And he talked all of that mess, but he has shown himself to be a coward. Twerking back, walking back information after he talked big. We're going to raise all of these tariffs. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And every time you get to it, we're in an extension right now. We're in a war back and forth with China. China is somebody we really need to fight, because don't they limit the amount of children you can have in China?
Yes.
That in and of itself. And right now you're trying to coerce women to have babies. You're trying to incentivize, well, white women in particular, to have babies. Y'all already fighting at a deficit. So unless this is your kamikaze move into like destroying the country altogether, y'all who still supporting him, y'all are not helping yourselves, and you're stroking his ego all while sacrificing yourselves. And I think you're dumb, or at least they're in the actions of what you're doing is dumb.
Yeah.
It's
welcome
dumb.
to the cult.
It's dumb.
Not welcome to the cult.
And I don't have any other words that I can use, but like it's just stupid.
It's not. But see, that's the same thing when them people in Guyana kill their children because they listened to Jim Jones. They went to cult. They thought he was right. They kill their kids.
And it's crazy.
Jim Jones in Guyana. Look it up. It happened. And he killed their own kids because Jim Jones said that this was the time. The other people, the Hale-Bopp Comet people,
I remember that.
castrated themselves. All of them put on black Nikes, black pants, and a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
And all them killed because they thought the comet was coming back and this was going to go back. It is cult behavior. It is the kind of a David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. Whole place burned down because he was sent. He was a messiah. He fighting against the government, all these different people. And they burned the whole place down. It's not, it's cult behavior. People are trying to find out, and that's the sad part. This is where we are. This is not anything other than a cult. Because you can see where it's wrong, but you're still there. If you believe, and you believe enough to the point where you would kill your child, Jim Jones, it's the same mindset in my mind. When you would do things that would put your child's future at risk, you Jim Jonesing. You in the cult. You Jim, anything that you would do that could possibly hurt the people you love. You Jim Jonesing, cuz.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, it's not, you don't have to go all the way to the point of death, but the idea that you would listen to somebody and cause yourself detriment and cause your loved ones detriment, that's cult mentality. Because I'm not in it. I'm not in it. And before you tell me, well, you're in the cult of the Democrats, actually, I'm not.
Right.
I'm in a very small minority.
Yeah.
Them who look at it truthfully on both sides. Because anybody who has listened to me know that I have as much criticism and vitriol for what the Democratic Party has done, both for us and to us as a people, that I have for this. But it's never been this, because that was always black people fighting for what I thought we wanted in America. That's where my fight has been. But now you got Americans, and when I say Americans, I'm being facetious. Real Americans, like Trump said. White Americans who are seeing their freedoms, their American privilege being eroded. They're seeing their 401ks, they're going, you see your stock market go down. All because you got a man that's running a cult, that you put him in there, and he is doing things that he believes is right. He doesn't listen. He told you that last time. He's the expert on everything. And y'all believe him.
That he speaks so bizarre and wrong about.
But you're still with him.
And that's crazy to me.
It's cult behavior, man. It's cult behavior. And see, the thing about the cult behavior, everybody at Jonestown didn't die. Listen to me now. Right? Jim Jones, Jamestown Massacre, Guyana, everybody there didn't die, no. You know who made it through? Some of the guards, some of the people that was working for Jim Jones, who was close enough to him to know that he was nuts. And they were there because of the proximity to power, but they hadn't drank the Kool-Aid. Literally had not drank the Kool-Aid. Literally.
Because if you did, you was dead.
And they did not drink because they saw it. They escaped. They escaped. They got out of there. So that's what I'm looking at in the same type of deal with this. You got people around you who know you nuts. Everybody that's in the cult, not of the cult. But you're there for the proximity to power. Because you can get what you can get.
And you are also a problem.
You are a huge problem.
You are also a problem.
You will be brought to task because of it. It is coming, cuz. You don't got no choice in the matter. You can't keep doing that and thinking that you're going to keep getting away with things people don't notice or don't see or too stupid to figure out what it is that you're doing. They're not.
But it's also, I think we talked about this before, about like what you will sacrifice to gain power. And I feel like, because you mentioned cult mindset. And when I think about it, I always thought it's like a mental health thing. It's not even like, it's a cult thing, but it's also a mental health thing because, like you said, what will you sacrifice to support someone that you know is like, they're jeopardizing your children's future or, the next generation's future. Right. But you continue to stand with them, or you continue to, go with the majority because you want to be in proximity of power.
That's right.
But what are you sacrificing for it? Are you sacrificing your mental health? Are you sacrificing your finances, your children's future?
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, and I don't know, because I think that way with Black people that support the majority, even though we're voting for someone that's not in benefit of us or wants the benefit for us. So it's like, what are you sacrificing to be in proximity with?
To be in proximity to power.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's mental health for me, because there's no way that it seems like a what is it? Not self-hate. What is it? Self-harm in a way. To me, it seems like self-harm, because there's no way if I'm voting for an administration that wants to get rid of Roe v. Wade when I'm a woman that happens to go to school in the South that would probably need those resources. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
So it's got to be mental health.
Right.
That's what we think.
Yeah, I can see that aspect of it, but because I can see the same thing. Everybody who decided that they and their children should die in Jamestown had a mental health problem.
It had to be. It really had.
I agree, because you are looking for something that, I don't know, but you believe that he can offer to you what you're looking for. You believe it.
Therein lies the question of when we ignore behaviors of people early on that don't match the collective, right? So, not that we have to have a group think, but there's some things that you see that are not right, and we stay quiet about it, and that is where it starts. It balloons to something else, and like if you don't crush it when you see it,
then
or correct it when you see it, then it has nothing else but to do but get bigger. And that's the big problem we're dealing with right now. It didn't start here. And the more people that still have the conversations about being able to support this man and his policies, the sacrifice, but now you sacrificing me too, which is what my issue is, right?
Yeah.
If this only impacted you, like if you somebody who was in an abusive relationship and you happy there, I'm gonna mind my business.
Absolutely.
Right? But now that the abuse, I'm supposed to sit and take that abuse as well, and I didn't sign up. I did not sign up for this. I have a problem with this, and that's why, like, I'm so frustrated with people who try to sane wash this demon of a man. And I don't care, black, white, if you are a supporter of this, there is a demon in you that you are feeding by supporting him.
Yeah.
Like, I just, people want to speak about good and evil and spirituality. You are a part of the evil that is not just infecting you. I'm all right with it infecting you, but you are now causing me to be subjected to that. And I hate that. That is very, very frustrating.
I want to bring up a comment that Josh has said. We as blacks, I hate the word blacks, by the way, lost our village mentality. And I want to bring that up because I feel like, I don't think we have. I feel like we've always had our village mentality or our collective mind mentality, and we've always had our COONS is. We've always had people that were against us, and we always had people that looked just like us that weren't for us. So I think the village mentality isn't gone, because we see the reoccurrence of movements, and we see the groups, and we see, people that are always doing community service and putting out policy and all those things. But I don't think we necessarily lost it. I think there's a disconnect between previous generations and my generation, and what we define as what's radical, what needs to happen. Some people think, okay, let's get in the streets. Other people think, no, we have to get in these systems to change the systems. And then they get in the systems and get affected by the systems and don't make the change. They become the system. And it's hard. I've tried to do it on a low level in SGA at Xavier. That didn't work. So it's like, you have to, like what you were saying, it comes from within and goes out. But if there's not enough people on the inside with the same mindset that are willing to sacrifice and lose things to, gain power, to gain what we're trying to do, then it's no point. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that we have lost our village?
We have
mentality?
not lost our village, but we have lost our collective messaging, and there was a need for the break of the collective messaging, because the collective messaging that was trying to stay on brand, in some of those instances were harmful.
Yeah.
Religion is one of those things. Religion is one of those things. Patriarchy is one of those things.
I would agree.
And I've said this before, and a lot of people get in their feelings when I say this about some black men. Some black men want to be revered like white men are revered, not recognizing that black women are in the same struggle as they are. And so then it becomes the trauma Olympics of I've been through more trauma than you, where we're still both in a system that is causing harm to us both. So rather than us work together, and I'm not going to take any responsibility off of black women, but most of the weight gets shifted to black women in a lot of cases. The responsibility of keeping the black family together, you keep demonizing the people who stayed, and there's no smoke for those who left. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Like, why is that never a conversation that is held in totality? And one, on the woman's side, yeah, you got to accept the responsibility of either participating in something that you knew was not going to benefit you in the long run, but also men accepting the responsibility that you also made some choices that were short term gain and long term detriment. So yeah, that's some things that we have to have as a community, and everybody take your licks and figure out what we could do and move forward.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. Stick and stay. It's Bad Churn Wednesday. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies with highs back in the mid to upper 80s. We could see a spotty shower or two this afternoon, but most of us stay dry. Lows tonight in the 60s and 70s. Slightly better chance for a shower Thursday, but still isolated. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Better chance for rain and storms Friday afternoon through Saturday. Highs in the low 80s this weekend. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
I'm Grant Sasheret.
And I'm Ro Brown.
Please join us for the Sports Report Wednesdays and Fridays
at 8 p.m. on WBOK.
The Sports Report. WBOK 1230 AM.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Do you know what United Way can do for you and your community? Find out by listening to United Way and You every Thursday at noon on WBOK 1230. United Way continues to fight for the most vulnerable members of the community. Find out how this Thursday and every Thursday at noon.
New Orleans, if you know a young adult or you are a young adult, listen up. This is your chance to level up your future.
Job One's Young Adult Career Expo is going down April 16th, 10 a.m. to...
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bad Churn Wednesday. Great discussion going on right here on the Front Porch. Get involved. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Elwin.
Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Braylon. Good morning, guest Stefana. Good
Kennedy.
morning, radio family.
How you doing, baby?
You know, I'm going to talk to Ro Brown tonight and see if I can get in the Hall of Fame with him.
Yeah, Roy, bring you. You trying to go to the Hall of Fame? You want Roy to give you a ride?
No, I want to be in the Hall of Fame with him.
That's what I'm saying. If he go, he'll bring you with him.
Yeah, and I got to build that Hall of Fame before I get out of here.
Oh, wait a minute. You not trying to go to the Hall of Fame. You trying to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, with Ro Brown.
What you want to be famous for?
On this talk show.
Well, Ro not in there because of this talk show. Ro is in there because of his career as a sports commentator and a veritable encyclopedia of sports knowledge. That's why, and a 30, 40-year career in broadcasting. That's why he's in there. Now why you think you ought to be in there?
I want to be in there for the knowledge I know about the Saints.
Oh, all right then. All right. I think they're going to build that museum in the 6th ward. I'm going to let you know when they start building it.
All right.
You could get in that one.
Okay, that sounds good. You know what story I'm listening to now? I'm listening to the Mamas and the Papas.
Oh,
Boy,
all right.
They were strange.
Hey, bro, it was the 60s, man. It was
And
the
man,
60s.
they was taking LSD, smoking weed.
It was the 60s, man.
Yeah, I know. And they was doing heroin and all that stuff. Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what they were
before
doing.
that, I was listening to Janis Joplin. And Janis Joplin did nothing but heroin. And man, I don't see how anybody could do that.
Yeah, well, buy some heroin, get you a
Oh,
spike,
Lord.
shoot it up.
No.
No, I would never do that, bro. You can't convince me to do that.
I would hope you wouldn't after you done watched the Mamas and the Papas and Janet Joplin.
No, I would no, bro. You can't convince me to do that.
I ain't trying to convince you to do it, cuz. I'm trying to get you away from it.
Don't worry, I'm far away from him. I'll never get near it.
All right,
For
well
what
that's
I hear-
good.
For what I'm hearing about it, I wouldn't want to advise anybody to do that.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
I mean, I don't see how Jimi Hendrix did it.
Well,
Was that his drug of choice?
yeah, I don't think he wasn't a heroin
I don't
addict.
think he was a heroin. He think he did mushrooms and weed mostly.
Pills, and
Yeah,
that's how he grew up.
He did some heroin.
He probably, I
did
think
it.
all of them did some, but being, doing it and being an addict is two different things.
Yeah, being right. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody would want to try that.
Oh, you know how that is, man. People be there, somebody got it, you won't try it, I never tried it. Next thing you know, you're on the corner talking about what you'll do for 20.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, that's how it goes. That's not a
bro, I
long
wouldn't
trip.
wanna-
It's not a long trip. Seen it.
No, bro. I didn't see the look. I had a neighbor of mine did it, and man, look, I couldn't. I don't like nobody sticking needles in my arm.
I don't
Sticking
blame
needles
you.
with me unless the doctor.
I don't
And
blame.
then I'm very careful about them doing it.
You ought to
'Cause
be,
I
bro.
asked them, and then I asked them what's in the needle. What has the needle been clean? What kind of drug they put in the needle and stuff like that. I asked them a bunch of questions.
Well, you ought to. Because you can't ask them questions at the shooting gallery, man.
No,
They don't answer all that.
No, well, how's y'all Wednesday going?
It's
So far,
beautiful,
so
man.
good.
Been a great conversation. Have you been listening?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Yeah. Well, you
I've
know
been
how we
listening.
do.
Yeah, the bad boys are in it, and I'm one of the bad boys.
Bad children.
Bad children.
There you go.
I've been a bad children.
I
from
know.
the
We know.
beginning.
We know.
Yes, sir. We understood. I knew that the first day you drove up here.
Hey, Braylon, I seen a commercial that remind me of you. You know
What
what they
commercial,
say?
bro?
A brain is a terrible thing to waste.
That's it. See, that was when you was with Mary. See, because that commercial actually says a mind is a terrible thing to waste, not a brain.
Yikes.
But I know if you was hanging out with Mary, you might have heard anything. You might have heard pancreas.
It was anything.
LOL.
Yes, indeed, man. Well, we made it
But
through the
man,
middle of
look,
the week,
them
baby.
mamas and the papas was crazy, man.
Yes,
they
they
fought
Mhm.
and they had affairs with each other. And, oh man,
Man, it was Hollywood in the 60s. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man. That was the word of the day. That's what they was doing.
yeah. Man, they were crazy.
I'm glad you wasn't around there with them, bro.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't around with them either. Only
Yes,
one
indeed.
mama living, and that's Michelle.
Yeah, because I know Cass Elliott died. Mama
That was
Cass
a big
died.
one.
Yeah. She died some time back. Yeah, But yeah, they lived, bro. They did their thing, baby. They certainly
Yeah, they
did
did their
their thing.
thing.
Yes,
and then
sir.
Danny Daugherty, he died, and then John Phillips, he died right before him. So all them was gone.
Yes, indeed. Well, they lived a lot while they was here, bro.
They did it their way.
Yeah, they did.
All right, my brother. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
All right, you too, and stay out of trouble, Brent.
I ain't going to make no promises to you about that, man.
Because guess what? Kim, I know Kim will never get in trouble, huh?
You make assumptions, sir.
See,
You make assumptions, sir.
But your mom said, boy, you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. That's why I remain quiet.
There you go.
You want to say bye, Elwin?
Bye, Kim.
Bye, Elwin.
You want to say tell Kennedy bye?
Bye, Kennedy.
Bye.
Now you want to tell me bye? Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'm going to do this to you.
Later, man.
You make assumptions, sir. I wanted to hit with this story because then give you a follow up. Remember we talked about Shador Sanders and the prank phone call, that whole situation?
Yeah.
All right. So the NFL has fined the Falcons $250,000 and the defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for the prank call to Shador. And
who gets the money?
I guess the NFL, because I don't think that's going to any
that
person who was harmed.
Sense.
Right. You're correct.
Them seem like a big rip off.
Yes, absolutely. So
that don't make no sense.
According to
you gonna teach them people a lesson on my part. Get $350,000 for the lesson that you teaching them on my part.
But I don't get none of the money of the.
I better get all the part,
bruh.
I didn't even know about this prank call.
You didn't hear about it? Okay, so there was the son of the defensive, let me say it right because, I don't know. Yeah, the defensive coordinator who called Shador Sanders on, was it draft day? Is that the right name to say?
Yeah.
All right. And called him, telling him that he had been drafted by the Saints as a prank.
No, by the Falcons.
By the Falcons, right?
He said no.
He said he was drafted by the Saints.
The Saints.
Whoa.
All right.
That's so sick. Because he wasn't drafted,
he
right?
was pretending to be.
You should have known that.
Yeah. He said that the prank call called Shador as the general manager of the Saints.
That's so sick.
So what's the charge for impersonating Mickey Loomis?
Yeah.
Well, there's that. But so Gilbrick's son, who's the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, yes, issued an apology to Sanders and admitting that he took part in the call because they videoed it. This is the world's dumbest.
The defensive coordinator took part in the call.
No,
or his son. His son.
Yeah, the son.
The dad apologized.
The dad apologized because
I'm just trying to keep
they
up
had the draftees' information on an iPad. So your son got the information from you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's so.
Yeah. So he called pretending to be the the general manager of the Saints, and offered him a spot on the team. And so then the Falcons was fine, but they also issued an apology, and the father was also fined as well. So
that's so sick.
Yeah, but who get the paper, caper?
It's going to the NFL.
Yeah,
the
but
person who was offended is
done.
not getting the money.
There's your hustle, cousin.
I mean, what's
something
the point
wrong
of the
with
fine?
that picture. I'm
Literally,
sorry.
what's wrong? I mean, what's the
something
point
wrong
of the
with that
fine
picture.
if
What's
it's
the
not
point of the fine?
going to the person that was affected? What is that like emotional?
Right, you're fining them because of what they did to me.
Right,
but I don't get nothing.
I'm not being
compensated.
Right.
Well, maybe he can sue.
Should.
Maybe
he said he wouldn't.
Emotional.
He said he wouldn't. Y'all in this high road mess. I need y'all to do better. Because people, bullies don't stop until they've been hit hard enough. And y'all really have to stop with that whole, I'm going to go high. Nope, go to hell on these people real quick. And the bullies tend to stop once they've been hit hard enough.
Real.
That is.
And I say that in no peace.
I want to know how I don't have no problem with all the stuff. That's you pull a prank, you got busted, pay. But the paying is cool.
But why is the person who was offended taken care of?
You're doing all of this on my behalf.
Exactly.
And I don't see why
I don't think they do.
Anything.
I don't think they're doing that on his behalf.
You are. This is one specific instance because you don't have a prohibition in the NFL against prank calls.
Right.
So the incident that you are fining for may be a general incident concerning prank calls, but it is
It's
specifically
embarrassment.
because
Yeah.
of the prank call
That happened to me.
Yeah.
So again, Mr. Whoever running the NFL today, I don't even know. Where
It's
my
not
hands, bro?
Goodell.
It could. I don't know.
It's Goodell.
One of them dudes.
And you know I don't be knowing, so you
Close enough.
don't have to tell me. But yeah, no, they didn't act on his behalf. They acted on the fact that it was a tarnish or an issue or a
But I was
blemish
the
on
one.
the NFL.
Yeah.
But I was
I was the one.
Shador was the one who was impacted.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. Stick and stay. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Former North Carolina NAACP leader Reverend William Barber was arrested at the U.S. Capitol for praying against potential cuts to social programs. He and 2 other ministers were charged with misdemeanor crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced a $331 million investment for a universal after-school program, expanding free activities to 20,000 more students over 3 years, aiming for 184,000 K-8 children served by fall 2027. It doesn't seem there will be another extension to the May 7th Real ID deadline. The Trump administration says all states will need to comply by then. And severe weather in Pittsburgh caused power outages to over 400,000 homes and businesses with 70-mile-per-hour winds and tornado warnings. 2 deaths are reported, including a man electrocuted by live wires. Get BIN News on demand and on the iHeartRadio app.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to celebrating the hardworking teachers of New Orleans Public Schools. Join us at the 4th Annual NOLA Teacher Fest, sponsored by the All-State Sugar Bowl New Orleans Teacher Community. The NOLA Teacher Fest is happening Friday, May 2nd at Champion Square from 4 to 7 p.m. The fest is open to teachers, paraprofessionals, deans, coaches, counselors, and other school support staff. Visit our website to learn more and RSVP, www.newschoolsforneworleans.org.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. It's the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with us as we roll into this third and final hour of today's broadcast of the Front Porch. Continuing from the historic campus of Xavier University from our studios right here at the foot of the overpass on South Norman C. Francis Parkway. www.wbok1230am is the address, or you can hit us up on the talk line, 504-582-9422. And right now, as we are wont to do, you know, we like to surprise y'all every now and then. We gather us a little company right here on the Front Porch, always in the desire to bring you guys some great information. And right now, we want to welcome to the Front Porch Kira Wong O'Connor from Meta. Good morning, Kira O'Connor. Welcome to the Front Porch.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk with you all.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Kira, have you been to our fine city yet? Have you been to New Orleans?
I have been to New Orleans many years ago when I was living in Austin, Texas, but I have been. And I'm actually going back this autumn in September. So if you have any tips for me, I'll definitely take them.
Oh, we got plenty for you, darling. You called the right place. Make sure you leave your information with Nyron. We'll have you a full agenda.
Guide, yeah, for
yes,
sure.
ma'am.
Where to go.
And it will
Be
be
careful
an
what you say,
insider.
because I will message you, because I'm taking my family, so I feel like I'll need some extra family friendly tips this time around. The first time I was a bit younger when I went.
I understand, but believe it or not, I know our reputation as a native, but this is actually one of the most family-friendly destinations that you could come to. So much history, children's museum, Audubon Park, a world-class zoo and aquarium. Trust me, you're going to have a lot of times. And then if you get your babysitter, we got an adult Disneyland for y'all, too.
It's the perfect combination for a family trip. You got the stuff for the kids in the day and then stuff for the adults at night.
Absolutely. So make sure the messages, and I'm being very serious, we would be glad to make sure that you have a good time and know exactly where to go when you are enjoying our fine city, okay?
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now tell us what Meta is doing. You guys are adding some stuff that we talk about here all the time as far as keeping our young people safe and the internet and social media and all that good stuff. You are talking about adding protections to Instagram teen accounts and expanding that experience to both Facebook and Messenger, which gives parents more control over their teenagers' online experience. Yes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you covered it off perfectly, but that's exactly what I'm here to chat about, and I'd love to talk to you more about it. I'm on the youth safety policy team at Meta, and what that means is my full-time job is thinking about how we keep young people on our platform safe. And what we just announced 2 weeks ago is that we're going to expand our teen account protections. And for your listeners who may not know yet, teen accounts is something we launched last year. That means that anyone under the age of 18 who is using Instagram and now, like you mentioned, Facebook and Messenger, you're going to automatically be put into some of our strictest security restrictions. So that means you're going to be protected from unwanted contact. Your account is automatically going to be put private if you're under the age of 18. We will restrict who can message you if you're under the age of 18. And we're also going to put on a daily time limit reminder at 60 minutes. So these three things are some of the top concerns that we know parents have with their teenagers being on social media. It's who can contact them. Like, we don't want strangers contacting our teens on social media. It's around what content they can see. So the types of content they're being able to explore on social media. And then finally, how much time they're spending on social media. One of the biggest things we hear from parents and teens themselves is that, they just need some help being reminded how long we're spending on our screens. I mean, I'm, 40 years old and I still need help with that.
Absolutely.
To just remind myself, I got to get out and go outside for a walk or something like that. So
I know that's right.
That's
now,
a part of what we're introducing.
That's very interesting. Did the new standards come from, like, you guys talked to parents? It was like a survey. You talked to them to find out exactly what they wanted and tailored the program to those suggestions?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it's part of my job, and many other people on the team, is speaking to parents, to educators, to teens themselves around the types of things they want to see on the platform. It can be around safety concerns. It could be around, different features. But really here, it was about what families, parents, and teens need in order to help them keep them safe while on Instagram and other meta platforms like Facebook and Messenger. And really those three things that I talked about, that contact, content, and time spent, were the three things that came out in terms of what parents and teens are most concerned with. And we have seen a lot of success with this already. We launched Instagram teen accounts in September, so September of last year. And we've seen that teens aged 13 to 15 have been keeping their default restrictions on, and that's 97% of those teens have kept them on. So that means they're staying in the safest settings that we offer to them automatically, which I think is just such a huge success, and one thing that I've been particularly proud of, to see that teens are staying in these strict settings.
So on yesterday, my daughter, I did see when I was looking through some things on her phone that a notification came up on her phone that it said you have exceeded the amount of time or your time is up for your Instagram settings. And you mentioned that the 97% of teens ages 13 to 15 can keep their default settings. Well, she's 17. Does she have the option to change that?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So we've broken up the teen accounts into 13 to 15. Those are going to be those default settings. Mean that if you want to change them in your 13 to 15, you're going to have to ask for parental permission. So you'll have to install parental supervision and set that up and get permission from your parent to change those settings. So for example, if you wanted to go from a private account to a public account, you would need a parent permission between 13 and 15. But if you're 16 to 17, we do allow teens at that age to change it themselves, even though it's going to be automatically set to a setting like private accounts. But the thought here is that, at 16 and 17, kids are starting to drive. They might have jobs. I know when I was 16, I had a job and I was driving myself to school. So we kind of, seeing that older teen age category as like you're starting to get some of your autonomy and your independence. And so we're trying to reflect kind of that real life situation that most families and teens have.
That is excellent. That is excellent. That is should have been very well received and continuing to be well received by the parents of kids who are involved, as all of them are, with social media. Right. So I don't think there's any that's not, but it's good to know that you guys over at Meta have been made aware of it and are doing something to continue it. Now, what kind of monitoring or ongoing evaluation does Meta use to keep sure and make sure that what they're trying to do is actually being done?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like all these things are great, but it only matters if they're, working and we're able to tweak things as and in if we need to.
Yes,
One of the things we've done recently and 2 weeks ago was that we're starting to, and you mentioned this around having parental involvement and making sure that we're having these conversations as parents with our teens, is that we're serving notifications to parents to remind them to check their teens' information around how old they are, because one of the things that teen accounts relies on is that we need to know your teen's age to make sure they're getting this. Yeah, exactly. The age appropriate experience. So we're sending reminders to parents to say, now would be a good time to make sure that your teen who's using Instagram has the appropriate age. We tell parents how to do this because the one thing we do see is sometimes, parents aren't aware of how to check settings or how to use the platform. So we give instructions on how to check it, but also just encourage these conversations with your teens. And we give some helpful, advice and tips on how to start these conversations. But we also know that parents are super busy. Like I can barely keep track of my child's schedule. So we understand that not every parent's going to have a chance to have this conversation. So we're also starting to use AI and technology to help predict the age of our users so that we can make sure they're in the age appropriate experience. So we've just started rolling this out to make sure that we can place suspected teens into the teen account settings to kind of ease that burden off of parents as well. So parents know that when they're using Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger, that we're working to make sure that their teens are in the safe and age-appropriate experience.
Nice. I really like what you said about being able to track the engagement that teens have with Instagram accounts. I am 21, so I definitely came into early Instagram, and I have a younger brother. He's 13, and that's something that I monitor alongside my parents because I know my parents, like you said, are busy and they don't really know what they're looking for. But I really appreciate this new teen account setting for my little brother so he can stay protected and safe. And I saw that one of the new updates that you all have implemented is auto blurring suspected nude images in direct messenger. So can you explain how this works and what safeguards are in place to ensure that inappropriate images aren't being shared through teen accounts?
Yeah, that's a great question. And also thank you for helping your younger brother kind of get used to social media and onboarding to that digital life. I think that's also one of the things with teen accounts we thought about, that, not every family, has the time to monitor, and there may be older siblings. I know I grew up in a multi-generational household, so I would have been a situation where maybe my grandma would have wanted to monitor my account had I had social media at that age. Mm-hmm. Around the question around blurring images, this is something that we also heard feedback around, is that, we want to make sure that young people aren't being contacted by people they don't want to be contacted, and that they're not seeing images that they don't want to see. So if we potentially detect there might be any nudity in the DM, we will blur it, and then also put a notification, just a little thing at the bottom there that provides resources to young people around how they can learn about staying safe, that their messages, they should think about what they send to people before they send it. And then we also have a sextortion curriculum that we recently launched to help both parents, educators, and young people spot the signs of potential sextortion. So we're really trying to tackle all the issues that we know that parents have. And, most people, I think, the vast majority of people are going to have a positive experience while using any of Meta platforms, but we just also want to make sure people are armed with the information to spot any red flags or anything like that if they themselves or anyone they know might see something like that.
I have one additional question because in education, many of the kids have social media and they get it very early, and like as early as third and fourth grade kids have created their own accounts, and they did need to change the age to 13. And I think some of them have gotten savvy to enter different ages so that they can have access to the full places. Is there a way, because I used to, like, kids used to send requests to me as an adult because I want to be in connection with my teacher online. I used to do the flags. So I don't know what you call. I used to
like
report the
Oh,
accounts.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to report the accounts. Does Facebook or Meta do any checking, looking at the faces of these kids? Because you can't always tell that a child is under a certain age. But some of these kids, they look young. But if they have these accounts where they have put older ages, they're able to engage with older people. Is there a way for Meta to kind of assist with that as well?
Yeah, so you did exactly what I was going to recommend, is that you reported the account. And once that happens, we're able to look at it and then put an account through age verification process so that they have to prove through an ID that they are the age that they say they are. And if they're under the age of 13, we will then disable their account. Because to your point, you need to be 13. Our terms of services is 13 and older. And you shouldn't be, like you said, in the fourth grade using social media. So well done on the best practice that I was going to recommend. And so we do age verification, like I said, and then also we're starting to test more and more AI to help us make sure that you're in the age-appropriate experience when you're on Instagram and Meta platforms.
Now, Kira, let me ask you this as one of the world's oldest teenagers. I would like to know, I know a lot of this is done on the side for parental control and making sure kids are safe, but how are you balancing these teens' privacy with parental control? Because they are young people. They're not quite out on their own, but they're not, you know what I'm saying? Is there, how is that balance met?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. And especially as teens get older, like I said, that 16 and 17, they're starting to be out in the world. They're thinking about what's next for them. Like, will they be getting a job? Or they're moving out of the house, whatever it might be. But we do make sure with parental insights that we're giving teens that privacy. So when you have parental supervision, we do let parents know a certain amount of information, but not everything. So parents will be able to see, who their teen is following, how much time they're spending. They're able to see who they're messaging, but not the actual messages themselves. Okay. So I kind of think about like when I went to the mall, my parents knew kind of more or less who I was going with, but they didn't know like what I was doing at the mall. So it's similar to that, is that you have a general insight of what your teen is doing, but you're not going to have those that private information around who they may be messaging. But with parental supervision, we also let parents know if a teen has reported another account or, blocked an account to help kind of give that insight and maybe start those conversations around something that might be happening with their teen, either online or in the real world. So it's like giving parents enough information to start that conversation without invading the teen's privacy.
And Kira, if you want to just share with us what you were actually doing at the mall, we promise we won't tell anybody.
I don't know. Are my parents listening to this?
I don't know.
I wouldn't want them to know.
Forever. We're on YouTube, and they can go back and listen. We'll talk offline. Kira Wong O'Connor from Meta, thank you so much for joining. You guys are doing a great job in making sure that our parents take control and make sure their kids are as safe as they can be in that great uncharted world of social media. Thank you for all you do. Please, you've got an open invitation here on the Front Porch. If there's any other things along these lines that you think our listeners need to hear, please come back and share it with them anytime you are ready.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of the day, and hope we can talk again soon.
Oh, listen, don't forget now, let us know when you get here. We're not kidding. We will have an agenda
I am definitely going to reach out. I'm about to add you on LinkedIn and everything. Thank you so much.
All right, Kira, you take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
It's the Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
They can stay, y'all. Bad Chair Wednesday. Don't go nowhere. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. In Baton Rouge, fluoride may be gone from our state's water soon. State Bill 2 is heading to a final Senate vote. Fluoride is added in small amounts to drinking water to help prevent tooth decay. But State Senator McMath sees the mineral as medicine and believes that method does not take into account people's individual health outcomes and needs. And a bill restricting processed foods in schools passed the Senate and now heads to the House. State Senator Blake Miguez wrote the bill, which he says is a direct descendant of the Make America Healthy movement. The bill follows the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s push to ban food dyes by 2026. This morning, concerns are easing as the Bonnie Gary Spillway is no longer under a threat of opening. The Army Corps of Engineers says an updated forecast shows the Mississippi River will no longer reach a trigger point to open it. Now, you may remember the opening of the spillway was tested last week in case it needed to be opened. As of this morning, the river was at 16.1 feet in New Orleans, and right now is expected to stay below the 17-foot minor flood stage. And the city of New Orleans and Councilman Freddie King is hosting a job fair today. The councilman is teaming up with the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. The fair will offer quality paying jobs and with long-term benefits as well, something critical for people looking for employment. The job fair is happening today from 10 a.m. to noon on the 1200 block of Bienville Street. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. A lot of people are building their personal brands, and for good reason. Recent research from Nielsen finds that over 70% of consumers trust advertising opinions and products from influencers. Stacey Wade, co-founder of Nimbus, a Black-owned marketing agency, says that personal brands offer a kind of authenticity that big companies sometimes aren't able to match.
You're able to pull the credibility from, culturally, the cultural credibility that they bring to the table is worth so much more money now. Because especially now, their audience is expecting them to be more authentic on who they choose to work with.
It comes down to trust. Brands looking to earn the trust of Black consumers might be well served by involving Black voices in an authentic way. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the Front Porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Movie Monday.
And Tuesday, it's Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mike.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 12:30 a.m. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 12:30 a.m.
Welcome back, y'all. Front Porch, WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass, y'all. Bringing it to you right here on this Bad Cheering Wednesday. Trying to keep your bad cheering in a good place.
Well,
that's why we had Kira Wong O'Connor from Meta and Instagram and Facegram book.
Oh,
and all
my
them different
goodness.
people.
No. Yeah.
Great information, though, for those of you who have young people in your lives who you are trying to keep as safe as you can. Just so happened, Kennedy is right there with her little brother.
Yes.
Trying to keep him straight. So that was some good information, along with his crew, their bad self.
That's the bad children for real.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's it's really important to have conversations, and I know, I actually was going through some text messages in Myri's phone. Like, I still do spot checks, and CJ is an adult by law, but sometimes you can't see what the kids are dealing with in their devices, like the rotary phone or the house phone. You can just pick up and listen. Because they have their own communication devices that is available to them. If you don't have other means of checking what those conversations are like, oftentimes you'll find out after things have ballooned to a point that that may result in violence, because a lot of those fights that take place at school or in other places, that those exchanges take place either through social media and or text messaging, because they don't really talk on the phone like talking about it. They FaceTime, but they use social media and texting a lot. So just a word to the wise about technology, just assuming that because they're quiet that nothing is going on, that is an assumption that does not always end well.
I don't trust them when they quiet me.
Yeah.
I'm going to see.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, children's supposed to be making noise. And when y'all ain't making no noise, something going on. I don't know what's happening, but I'm about to come see, because I know something happening. Y'all too quiet. Kids are just naturally, you are not quiet.
Right.
So if you don't hear nothing, it's like the lady mosquitoes. I'll be trying to give y'all relevant advice to get through your life. You understand? Do you know that female mosquitoes don't buzz? Have you ever heard that buzzing around your that whole thing? That's male. It's a male. It's true. But if you don't hear anything, that's the female mosquito. So start swinging.
I mean, that's typical in nature. The lions that hunt are the lionesses.
Of course. That's what you're supposed to do.
The penguins, the ones who carry the eggs, are the men, and the women. So I mean, that's typical in nature. That's typical in nature. It's just these human animals who have the game twisted and bastardized.
Pretty straight on that. My old lady be hunting and killing, and I eat.
That's you. That's you.
Maybe I need to be like a mosquito. I'm gonna just be quiet.
Did you see the soccer player who whose wife and son were kidnapped, and he was under the bed watching the whole thing unfold?
No way.
Yes way.
Kidnapped for.
And he was under the bed.
He was under the bed.
Beta man. He's a beta man.
Listen,
I don't do those.
That was like, and I told my husband about that yesterday, and he was like, I would have died to keep y'all
Yeah.
safe. And it came out of his mouth so naturally. You
even
know
your
what I'm
child,
saying?
like that's your child.
Boy, you a garden tool.
Use a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
a whole
You a
one
whole
out
garden
here.
tool
Yeah.
out here,
I
man.
could instant divorce.
You
Immediate.
know, you
don't even
wouldn't-
call me.
You,
I'm not your wife no
you
more.
would not. They will return, but I would have
Praise
returned
God.
with divorce papers
Guns
in hand.
blowing.
Yeah,
Why they brought him back to that? That's why.
I'm like, don't bring him back to me. Don't bring him back to me. Get him.
so
Kidnap
it's,
him.
the guy was from Ecuador.
I see y'all don't know the whole story.
What is it?
Look,
What?
didn't they bring the people back?
They did bring him back.
that
I don't
man
care.
knew.
No,
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Take
The fact that you
him.
were
Take
the
him.
fact that you were hiding, that's the problem.
He like, I'ma hide under the
Take
bed.
out- if they
I
take
need you to
him,
grab
Lord,
him.
Listen to Tinker, listen to Tinker, listen. And then they sent them back.
And I know he was sitting.
I ain't gonna be able to
Now,
do
what
it.
did you learn?
I ain't gonna be able to do it. So listen, it says Ecuadorian soccer player Jackson Rodriguez's wife and 5-year-old child were kidnapped early
Jesus.
Wednesday. Police reported when men
Wait, they
broke
say
into
he was kidnapped too?
no.
Read that again.
Ecuadorian soccer player Jackson Rodriguez's wife
Okay.
and
I thought you- and his
5-year-old 5-year-old child were kidnapped early Wednesday. Police reported when men broke into their home in search of an Emelec defender who no. They were looking for him. So he told the investigators that he hid under a bed. The kidnappings took place around 3 a.m. in the coastal city of Guayaquil, police chief said. In his testimony, the 26-year-old fullback, shame on you, said that he hid under the bed when he heard the front door being broken down. According to the police chief, the perpetrators took Rodriguez's wife, child, and asking the woman if Rodriguez was at the residence. According to police, Rodriguez saw at a window that the individuals were traveling in a gray-colored double-cab pickup truck. The incident occurred amidst a state of emergency declared 10 days ago by the government in 9 areas of the country. And blah, 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 blah. The measure allows the mobilization of security forces in those territories to combat operations of organized crime groups, which authorities blame for the wave of violence. But, yeah.
This don't make sense. That story alone doesn't make sense. How you hear it, and the wife, did the wife say he wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
If y'all sleeping in the same bed, and I hear somebody breaking in, I get under the bed
and don't go to
because they
see
looking for me.
where my
I'm be like,
people
babe,
at?
babe, get up.
If
help.
I'm
You gonna
moving,
be hitting
everybody
the
gotta
mattress.
move.
You gonna be hitting the mattress.
Get up, babe, help.
Where did he go? He gone, Black.
I'm be like,
He
y'all
gone.
missed him. He under the bed, by the way. Like, go and get him. That's so. I don't like that. I'm gonna read up some more on that because there's no way. It's some funny business
You
going
see,
on.
see? You like me, baby. Get the whole story. Something else
I want to talk
going
to
on.
him. Hey, yo, reach out to me.
So is he?
So they confirmed Friday that they had been freed. So there were no
freed.
They were
right.
Was it money? Was it a what?
The fact that you under the bed.
I
got problems.
Puts
I got problems.
fire under me. There's no way.
You went telling people I wasn't there. I said, baby, good, they looking for me. You went look out for me. You think she went out there by herself? You know when them people start kicking at the door, you said, Mommy, I'm gonna be under the bed. You go tell him I'm not here.
See, that's holding your man down in the wrong way.
No, ma'am.
I ain't holding nobody
No,
down.
ma'am.
That.
You first.
You coming with me.
You first.
Babe, let them know I'm not here. I'm not here. Y'all just go. I'm gonna get y'all back.
You
ain't
first.
enough love in the world. The only person I trust that much is God. He the only one that's gonna bring me back for something like that. Oh God, Lord, don't send me no man like that, cause I'm gonna send him right back to you in Jesus' name.
Like
that's a no.
Dude, hey, listen.
At all.
Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
All right, and on my way back.
Self-preservation.
On my way back.
Is the first law
Sir,
of nature.
just know, the fire they didn't give you, you about to get
you
from
handed
me.
But who? Wait, I see. That's what I'm saying.
Your
This
stuff
guy's
is outside.
Is he a like Ecuadorian soccer star or an Ecuadorian soccer player?
He's a soccer player.
See, and that's what I'm saying.
It's
that's
a difference.
It's a
I
difference.
don't know.
Why are
I
you
don't.
being,
I don't
see,
know
you might
about
be
the
doing
star
something else. See, that's what I'm saying.
situation.
If you're laying in there, it ain't like your life she don't know. So I don't. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what's happening, and there's more to the story. If he under the bed and you standing there talking to the people and telling them he not here, you know more than what you let know, because they ain't you holding him down because there's something to hold him down from.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And if he not Pele or Ronaldo or somebody who's been it like Beckham who can get millions and millions of dollars, what is the reason for this kidnap? See, that's what I
The
see.
kidnappers demanded $500,000 for the release of wife and son, but the family refused to pay.
You ain't got no
So how they get out?
They let him go. They said that reason that man was under the bed.
After police operations late Thursday, officers located the pair in a popular neighborhood, and the area is considered one of the most dangerous places. 22 people were massacred. So the police found them.
I'm so irked.
Yeah, I'm not confused about this at all.
But if you are hiding under the bed,
there's no way.
With your knowledge,
there's no
your
way.
knowledge, you went talked to the kidnappers with my child and
That's another
reinforced the story that I wasn't there. You told them I wasn't there. So whatever I was doing for the kidnappers kicked in the door, you was benefiting from.
They didn't ask her where he was.
What else they gonna do? If
They
you
just
come to my house to kidnap me,
I thought that was an article they asked.
I thought they said, and she refused. He not here. He not here.
And even
Why
if
did
she
he no home? He no home. And then they took her and the kid.
And that's dumb too, because if I'm holding anybody down, I'm not bringing my kid. That baby would have been under the bed with him.
Well, no, she taking that. That sold the story because he can't keep the baby quiet. We're gonna talk more about this, but right now we have been joined by Dr. Eric Griggs and Dr. Mark Allen Derry. Gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you guys for joining us. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Y'all were listening to the story about the guy under the bed in Ecuador. Were y'all hearing that?
Did y'all hear that one?
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
That is crazy.
Too much.
Crazy.
That mental health, man was scared. So anyway, gentlemen.
Absolutely
You
not.
guys are, I would imagine, not together since we got both of you on the phone. What part of the world are y'all calling from right now?
I'm actually in New Orleans. We just got back from Connecticut.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good, man. And what about you, Mark Allen Derrick?
I am in New Orleans as well.
Look at that, man. See that? I guess y'all just didn't want to come over here by us,
We're getting closer and
That's
closer
all right.
to get y'all in here.
That's all right.
Two seats.
We love y'all anyway. We ain't gonna hold it against you. I took a little bad today and everything.
Oh God!
Wow,
I'm sure
I feel
you
honored.
most appreciate that.
You should be. You should be. So what's the latest, gentlemen? What's going on? What should our listeners know about that is happening right here in these environs?
Well, before we start with anything infectious, I want everyone to pay attention to the fact that it is hot.
It is
extremely hot, much hotter than in the years past that I can remember. As we're out we enjoyed Jazz Fest, we enjoyed the Zurich this past weekend. I want everyone to remember the formula. One drink, two waters. One drink, two waters. There's going to be a lot of unsensible loss when you drink alcohol. I want people to start paying attention that when you drink alcohol, how much water you actually lose and how soon it happens, as opposed to when you drink that coffee in the morning. Alcohol is an extreme dehydrating agent and can cause you, along with the sense of inebriation, it can cloud your vision, cloud your brain fog, being dehydrated. It only takes 2%, being dehydrated by 2% to cause brain fog and confusion. So one drink, two waters, and I'll just leave it there. Eat your juicy fruits and juicy vegetables because that water counts as well.
Believe that.
There we go.
We know that for a fact. Drink water.
And let me just add to that, Eric. You'll appreciate this. This weekend, I just got off like 12 days in the hospital working, and so this Saturday, somebody comes in the hospital. They were at the Zurich. They came in acutely dehydrated. I took care of them. And something else to remember, she thought she was keeping up with her fluids. And I reminded her that Diet Coke does not count as a rehydrating fluid. But also, she was on a number of, and Eric, talk about this because you're going to appreciate this. She was on a number of blood pressure medicines that she took in the morning. And so she came in acutely dehydrated and hypotensive as well. And that's what bought her admission. So remind people about the medications they take. Sometimes they take anxiety medicines or pain medications. and they're out in the hot weather with their low blood pressure because they took their blood pressure medicines and not enough fluids.
Yeah, yikes.
Eric,
And the coldest are the
I was asking that to
dehydrators,
Eric.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And the big thing is, don't forget to wear the sunglasses, put on the SPF 30 every 2 hours. I don't care what your skin color is. Loose fitting clothing, because it gets to tell you that dehydration will sneak up on you. It'll start, it can be nausea, it can be dizziness, it can be a little bit confused, and you could think it's that extra glass of wine or that extra beer, and it could actually be something that could end up seeing Mark Allen in the hospital. So always just stay on top of it, because it's hotter than usual.
Doc, what is the correlation that Mark Allen was talking about between your medication, specifically hypertension, blood pressure medicine, and dehydration, and this sun? Hello?
Did we lose him?
Yes, is he still here?
Hey, both of y'all still here. All right. That
Yeah.
question was
Yeah.
for whoever can answer it.
Yeah, Mark Allen just said it. I'm like, all right, answer the question, man.
Well, he actually tossed it to you, so.
I tossed it to you, Eric.
He tossed it to
Yeah.
you. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. So the answer is yes. It's all medications. You want to talk to your doctor and or pharmacist. If you can't get with your doctor, get with your pharmacist, because a lot of times they'll be more accessible just walking up to the counter at your friendly neighborhood drugstore and asking what medications do I need to be wary of. There's also certain medications that people take, antibiotics, are commonly that you have to be wary of the amount of sunlight that you take in directly. Again, talk to your pharmacist. The biggest other big thing is take your meds. No matter what, take your medications. And by the time you're thirsty, it's too late. So if you plan to go to Jazz Fest tomorrow, start hydrating now.
Today,
And once today. And then what we recommend is while you're out, if you're not drinking, if you're out in the sun, find the cool as much as you can and drink at least 8 ounces of water, half a bottle of water every hour.
Okay.
Whether you're drinking or not, just because.
Whether you're drinking or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to keep your urine clear, not crystal clear, not like water, but you want to keep it a pale yellowish clear as much as possible. And I've shown on TV several times what the capillary refill test is. Press down on your middle digit, release, count 2 seconds. If it pinks right up, you're good. If it stays flat or is sluggish, then you need to catch up on your hydration.
You need water. And there's also, Doc, the visual, when you urinate, you can tell how many quarts low you are. The darker the yellow it is, the more urgent it is to get yourself some fluids inside you as quickly as possible. Am I right?
Absolutely not, but don't do it too much. Not too fast, because that can kind of throw off your fluid balance, and it can make you dizzy. Just take it in at a reasonable pace. If you start to get confused or any of that, get to a cool space. If you start to get to the point where you're not sweating at all, get to an ENT. It's a medical emergency, and you're in danger of heat stroke.
Yes, that's the danger zone.
But can you also share the dangers of people who overhydrate, people who are drinking water to the point that they don't have any electrolytes in there, or have overpower their electrolytes?
Yeah, that's that fluid imbalance I was talking about. It can overhydrate. Electrolyte abnormalities can cause seizures. Again, you don't want to drink your water drink water to the point that it comes out the same color as it goes in. Don't overdo it.
Right. Everything in moderation.
And there's also been, in some high-profile hazing cases as well, where in a fraternity they have pledges to drink too much water, and there have been some very unfortunate consequences from that.
Is that hydrophylaxis or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but that sounds like that's something that would be. But there's too much water, basically, like you mentioned, dilutes your electrolytes, and so of course, too much water is also an issue. Fortunately, we don't see much of that. What we see is the opposite: not enough water. And just to kind of wrap up on that, sometimes when you have multiple medications on board, so for those of us that are, as we're aging gracefully like we are, we sometimes may be on a couple of extra medicines to help that aging process go by more gracefully. And we just need to remember that while we're on our blood pressure medicines, and some people while they're on their anxiety medicines or pain medicines or what have you, that the combination of the heat will further dehydrate you, and you could be in a position where you may end up, like Eric said, potentially, hopefully not, but acutely dehydrated that you are going to need to be in the hospital and kept overnight and then chastised the next morning, to remind folks that Diet Coke is not a hydrating fluid. It's just not a hydrating fluid. I don't care how much of it you drink. What it does do is it does make you pee because it is a diuretic.
Yes.
In other words, it has an effect in it. It's caffeine, basically, and just like you drink coffee and then have to go to the bathroom afterwards, the same effect happens with cold drinks as well.
Which leads to a point that the urine that you see after taking something that's a diuretic agent is more of a free body water. So you can be fooled into thinking that you're hydrated because it comes out clear looking. But it's too clear looking if you pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a couple beers or you had a couple cups of coffee or you're taking that fluid pill, you notice, wow, it comes out clear. I must be fine. And you're not. Again, you can check it with the capillary refill. I don't want to overemphasize hydration, but I do want to overemphasize because it's hotter than usual.
Yes, we need to know that.
Absolutely. And just let me ask this, and this is strictly because I'm one of them kind of people, and when I get a bone, I can't let it go. What is it about certain medications and heat? Is it because of the things that it's doing your body, or is your perspiration causing that medication to now exit your body through your perspiration? Or why is it that some medications will be detrimental when there's heat involved?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the way that heat affects the body. Your metabolism changes, and you get the order of survival and order of operations, right? So we got this med, but this dude is about to die because he's out in 115-degree weather. So it changes the metabolism of the drugs. When the drugs were approved by the FDA and through the clinical trials, they were not under those extreme heat conditions, and it changes the way your body metabolism. And each drug is different. That people take. Go ahead, Mark.
And something that comes to mind too is like there are a number of people, especially as we age even more and as we age more gracefully, our heart doesn't quite keep up with our bodies. And so there are a number of water pills that exist that people are on. And so it's very important for us to realize that those water pills help kind of with your heart is unable to move around the system because your heart gets weaker as we age. That water pill kind of helps excess fluid leave the body. And so that's another thing. So that's another way that heat can affect medications as well, is that because you're peeing a lot, if you're not keeping up on your fluids and you're not keeping that fluid balance right on, like Dr. Griggs is talking about, you can acutely dehydrate yourself, specifically if you're on water pills.
Gentlemen,
and when we say water pills, understand it's water going out, not water going in.
Yeah.
That's not a water pill that you're taking to give you more fluid. It goes out.
Hold that thought, gentlemen. We got to take this quick break. You tuned into the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
Stick and stay, y'all. We'll be back on the other side with Dr. Griggs and Dr. Derry right here on the Front Porch.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies with highs back in the mid to upper 80s. We could see a spotty shower or two this afternoon, but most of us stay dry. Lows tonight in the 60s and 70s. Slightly better chance for a shower Thursday, but still isolated. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Better chance for rain and storms Friday afternoon through Saturday. Highs in the low 80s this weekend. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back, y'all. This is Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Bank.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree. Hey, y'all.
I'm your co-host today, Kennedy Shanks.
That's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass. And, of course, we've got Dr. Mark Allen Derry and Dr. Eric Griggs with us right here on the Front Porch. talking about the heat that is outside. It is festival season and the things that you need to do and be aware of in order to make sure your forays out into the great outdoors are not met with meeting Dr. Derry at the great indoors of the emergency room. So, gentlemen, drinking water, making sure that you check your medication either with your doctor or with your pharmacist are things that one should be doing before the weekend's festivities start again tomorrow, yes?
Yes, and start hydrating now. By the time you get thirsty, it's too late. So start hydrating, and remember that caffeine in Coca-Cola and in coffee are dehydrating agents, as are those that we tend to enjoy during festive season, which is those nice, cool beverages.
The adult
along
ones.
with any medications, adult beverages. Well, even the non-adults, because they're extra sweet, and just like Mark Allen said, cold drinks don't count.
No,
They can actually work to dehydrate you.
If it's not water, just because it's liquid doesn't mean it counts toward hydration. I just want to
not the hydration we need.
Just
Yeah,
another
not the
question for
hydration we
people
need.
who like to overload on like sports drinks, because of course that people just don't like to drink water anymore. So for people who like to double up on the sports drinks, what is your caution about that?
So real quickly, the sports drinks typically tend to be overladen in sugars, and they're recommended, like if you're going to be outside in the solid heat, exercising, walking, dancing, festing, maybe one every 45 minutes. But typically you want to hydrate with water and get your electrolytes and foods from electrolytes and nutrients from your foods. Eat your electrolytes, eat your vitamins, and if you can, if necessary, you can go with the sports drinks, but they're very high and tend to be really high in sugar.
Yeah, sodium too. Some of them.
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah, I don't. Eric is the expert here. I the only thing I would say is things that our grandmothers told us when we were little. Moderation is key.
Some of the best advice I ever got, man. Yes, indeed.
So to pivot
Moderation is
to
key.
to something in his wheelhouse, I last week I went and got my first shingle shot. I got my MMR booster, and I got my pneumovax.
You used
And
it as a. Were you and your wife in a fight, and you used it as like a biodefense like I did?
well, it kind of felt like it, and because my grandbabies are so young,
yeah,
and one happens to be in the NICU, I'm trying to make sure that I'm prepared. I went today and I got my Tdap, which is my tetanus shot that protects for pertussis, because believe it or not, I've found out of heard of at least 2 to 3 more community cases of measles in our area that have not been documented. You just happen to hear them as you're moving around. And then I was on the plane and I heard someone barking like a small dog on the back of the cabin. So I would advise people to ask their doctors about their titers, MA. I'm all in infectious disease. So what you got?
You got before Dr. Derry, hold on 1 second. But did you have your Eric? Did you have your titers checked before you got an MMR booster, or you just erred to the side of caution and got?
No, I erred to the advice of my expert infectious diseases brother here, and he said, Eric, don't even worry about it. I mean, just go ahead and get the booster. And I guess especially whooping cough. If you hadn't had a tetanus shot in 10 years, you need to go ahead and get that booster.
I'm going to get them all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get them all. Get shot. Don't get them all in one day though, because that 3 shots in one day, it worked great on paper. But man, let me tell you about that next day.
I did that. here.
You
man.
did that
I
recently.
Recently.
Yes.
Recently. Yeah, bro. No, that ain't my thing. I'm not an IV drug fan. Not at all. Not even if it's good.
Oh, goodness gracious. So what's going on in the world of infectious disease, Dr. Derry?
So here's a quick story. So I have to tell this story tomorrow. So I wanted to kind of share it with you guys today. While I'm at Jazz Fest, I have to kind of peel away. I've had to go through security and all this stuff just so I could get an office tomorrow. But I'm going to be there's a very large conference tomorrow across the state. A lot of state leaders will be there as well, but mostly for school-based healthcare. And so I'm probably one of maybe a handful, if that, physicians that's ever seen measles and taken care of measles before. And so the story I'm going to tell, it's not much. I mean, the mother comes in, she basically has a child. She kind of presents to me the child, like the folks who screen her brought me immediately to her, and she kind of pushes the blanket aside, and this was a child with measles. There's no question about it. It's the sort of thing that when you see it, you know it. There was just no question about it. And I would say, about 25 years in, I would say I was about 10 to 12 years as a physician. And I learned my most important lesson that day, which was my response was so rapid and it hit my brain so quickly that this was measles. And I jolted. I kind of took a step back, and I scared the mother, who then rapidly wanted to get rid of the baby because she saw that my repulsion is not the right word, my fear. My fear was so visceral, and it was so real that all of a sudden she feared her baby and immediately put it in my arms and ran away. And now I was like, all right, well, now I've got two problems. I've got a child with measles that I have to deal with. I could deal with this, but the more pressing problem is the problem I just created, which was I created fear. That the one thing this child needs more than anything else was their mother. And so it was the pleading with the mother to get this child and to accept this child, and trying to explain to this mother, what measles was and why it was important to care for this child. But the child was ultimately sent to Port-au-Prince, where there's the Paul Farmer's, the famous physician, Paul Farmer, his hospital there, Partners in Health, and the child did very well. But I think the learning point there, and it was certainly a learning point for me, was this notion of when you see something and it's so obvious. And since then, I've kind of meditated on that moment. As you can imagine, many hours I've meditated on that moment so as to not to have that experience again. And certainly when I was in Sierra Leone for Ebola, I saw many cases of Ebola. But when I identified it and I could see it right away, you could see in people's eyes, literally the whites of their eyes become very red. That was the telltale sign. And so I would not express shock to that person, but my goal was to convince them to get to an Ebola treatment center as quick as possible so that they could begin fluids. So I think, at least for me, that's an important, it's an important story. It's a timely story. And again, not very many people have seen measles. And I just want to remind people, because I'm starting to see it more on social media, it's not the measles and the rash itself that's problematic. It's the sequela. Sequela is the medicine way of saying it's the aftermath. It's what happens afterwards. So that's what the word sequela means. It's what happens after measles that can be problematic. We don't have very good numbers on them now, but we will with this outbreak because it's very, very quickly turning into an epidemic. But there's deafness, there's blindness, there's 10 years later you can get a brain swelling that will 100% lead to death. And then, of course, there's death. We don't know what these numbers look like. We will soon, because we're going to have we'll have the epidemiology to study it in retrospect. In other words, we're going to see the cases we have now. We're going to be able to look backwards and do the numbers. But it's not just a rash. It's much, much more. And I can't express more. Like Eric just went and got a measles vaccine. I got a measles vaccine, but my titers were low. But at this point, I think that there's nothing wrong with going to your doctor or going to a pharmacy and just asking for a measles vaccine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a very, very safe vaccine. And in the setting of the outbreak, that's very likely going to turn into an epidemic. I think it's not an unwise piece of advice.
Doc, keep that thought, because next week I definitely want to talk about that decade-long afterwards, after you have the rash and stuff, because that one's going to stick with me. So keep that on the front page, and we're going to talk about it next week.
It's an easy word, too. It's easy to remember it. It's subacute pansclerosing, encephalitis. Subacute pansclerosing encephalitis. So
subacute pansclerosis encephalitis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was just telling somebody that the other day, Doc. Dr. Mark Aladari, Dr. Eric Griggs, gentlemen, thank y'all so much. We got to get out of here, but we will be talking to you next week, and we appreciate your time, fellas. Thank y'all for giving us 3 hours out of your lives that you'll never get back, and we certainly hope we've given you a little bit of something in return for the investment of your time. I'm your host, Braylon Bryant Banks.
And I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
I'm your co-host, Kennedy Shanks.
And that's Brother Nyron on the other side of the glass. Say
all of the things.
Yes, try to get a new tongue from Amazon. I'm still working.
There you go.
Practice random acts of kindness. Do something nice for somebody just because it's a nice thing to do. Take care of yourselves and each other. Get your Titus check.
Yes.
And we're going to see y'all on the other side of the break.
Have you heard the secret of what New Orleans is talking about? I promise everything will be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Former North Carolina NAACP leader Reverend William Barber was arrested at the U.S. Capitol for praying against potential cuts to social programs. He and 2 other ministers were charged with misdemeanor crowding, obstructing, and incommoding. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced a $331 million investment for a universal after-school program, expanding free activities to 20,000 more students over 3 years, aiming for 184,000 K-8 children served by fall 2027. It doesn't seem there will be another extension to the May 7th Real ID deadline. The Trump administration says all states will need to comply by then. And severe weather in Pittsburgh caused power outages to over 400,000 homes and businesses with 70-mile-per-hour winds and tornado warnings. 2 deaths are reported, including a man electrocuted by live wires. Get BIN News.